How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? I'm trying to set this light properly so it's not so glary. Is it glary? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Nerd Herd. I am your trusty, dusty host, the dopest nerd. You could have been anywhere in the world in these internet streets, but you decided to be here with us, and I am so pleased to have you. When you come on in, you know the requisite. Take off your shoes, leave them by the door, grab a pair of fuzzy socks, jump on the couch, and put your feet up and stay a while. Shout out to the dopest mod in the land, Miss Locked herself. Locked hair, don't care. Welcome, everyone. Be sure to give us a thumbs up so the algorithm knows that we're doing a good thing and brings other people to the platform. We want to share this good knowledge with everyone. Shout out to some of our early birds, Miss Carla Turner, William Ricardo, Jen Brown, Bajibu, or Bejibu. Correct me if I'm wrong. And all of our family in the nosebleed seats. We love you nonetheless. Listen, the nosebleeds are important. All of us don't want to engage. And that's one of the lessons, LA Chick, Lisa Bruno, that I want. So happy to see you guys too. That's one of the lessons I want this world to understand as well. Everyone doesn't want to engage. You have people that use the self-checkout because maybe they're neurodivergent, maybe they just don't want to deal with people today and they don't want to be bothered. Don't take it offensively when people don't want to be bothered. Sometimes it's just a point of self-preservation. We have to start learning that and being okay and comfortable with that. Someone not engaging doesn't mean they don't like you. It doesn't mean you got beef. It doesn't mean they hate you. It just means for their own peace of mind, they don't engage. And that's a totally acceptable thing. Shout out to the Nerd Herd family. I miss you guys. I love you. Your girl is here. A lot of stuff going on out here in this landscape. Let's talk about it. For one, what's going on at the Breakfast Club? I want to peep y'all to some game. And of course, I'm understanding that we all see the world through a different set of lenses. I got my readers on today because I need my readers to read. And if I want to see these comments while I'm up here, I got to wear my readers. But I also have my regular stunners. Same glasses. One has a tortoise shell underneath. That's the readers. And this one is regular. And sometimes I just want to put on some glasses because I like glasses. Shout out to the entire Nerd Herd family. What's going on at the Breakfast Club? I want to peep y'all to some things. I'm always astounded when it's not obvious. Shout out to A. Reed. Shout out to Julia Hair Braiding. Shout out to everybody. Michelle, everybody who's joining us. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Charge it to my head and not my heart. You know I love all of y'all. Keisha. Nerd Herd family. What up, Keisha Du Bois? Everyone. So let's talk about it. You know your girl. I like to sit back a while, but I knew what it was from the get-go. From the time Jess with the Mess was making her, I believe it was a TikTok or IG live. From the time she was making it, I peeped game. And I said, oh Lord, the internet is going to, the screen is flipped. So the internet is going to go buku for Cocoa Puffs. They're going to go crazy. Let me see what everybody has to say. But I called it from the get-go. And I need you guys to be able to use and engage your spirit of discernment. One of the ways you can engage your spirit of discernment is listen from God. Listen for God's voice. To connect in your spirit and resonate and say, ask him. Say, what's going on with this, Lord? Give me the wisdom to see through this veil. Once you ask God for that, he's going to provide it. Another is don't jump to be first. You jump to be first, you run the risk of saying some foolishness that you either can't take back or you can take back, but you've gone so emphatically hard on the foolishness that what it does is it wears down your credibility. Shout out to Lisa Cluis. Shout out to all the family. Absolutely. Real talk, blessing talk. Asheo. We come with that mature grown talk. I want you guys to invoke. Everybody get some love to Locked in the chat, the dopest mod in the land. Hey, I'm live. Say hi. Hold on, guys. Let me calm down. You out of the way? Girl, hurry up and get up that stairs. Sorry, guys. You up?
Yes.
I am sorry, guys. Y'all see the little baby nerdette walking through the stage? um, Shout out to you guys. I love my nerd herd family. Let me just state that emphatically. Let me just shout out to you guys how you stay classy, how we keep it. I like that. We grown. We do it different over here. And no disrespect to anybody and how they do it anywhere else. I just know how we do it above the fray. Candy from Escape and from Housewives of Atlanta had a song out back in the days. I fly above all the haters. And that's where we want to live. Hey, Carla. Hey, William. Hey, Michelle. Some of you guys I'm repeating. So I want y'all to invoke your spirit of discernment. Part of why a lot of people, their spirit of discernment is not invoked is one, you don't seek God first. When you hear information or news, you don't seek God first for understanding. Another way is, thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Gina. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Barbara. Another way we have to invoke our spirit of discernment is to uncalcify our pineal gland. Some of the ways you can do that is taking oregano oil. You need to uncalcify your pineal gland. Stop using toothpaste that contains fluoride. Fluoride is the number one contaminant. First of all, it's egregious for your body, but it calcifies your pineal gland and thus closes your third eye. We can't do that. We have to open our third eye. We are in a different world right now. We are in a shift in our world. We are in a shift, and you are required to have that third eye open so that you can receive and perceive information at higher rates of speed. You don't want to be the last to the party. Sometimes being the last to the party is good, but baby, in these times that we're living in, you do not want to be the last to the party. I suggest you lay off of the aluminum in your deodorant. Don't use antiperspirant, only use deodorant, because antiperspirant will stop you from perspiring, and the human body must perspire to push out toxins and waste. If you use an antiperspirant, it will prevent you from perspiring, which is why a lot of people are developing breast cancer, because you're not allowed to push the waste out of your body in that region. You have lymph nodes in those regions. But thus, brushing your teeth with fluoride-based toothbrush will make your pineal gland calcified, and then you lose that natural spirit of discernment. Just like so many people in the YouTube landscape miss the point, the obvious point of the okey doke that the Breakfast Club did. There was never any beef, guys. Never any beef. We need to raise our vibrational frequency. Raise your vibrational frequency. Your third eye is, we have two visible eyes, and ooh, them hands is Ashay. Hold on, Nirvana. Do I have where's my shea butter? That was right here. Who moved my shea butter from right here? Throw me down some lotion, please, my love. So your third eye is your mental eye in the middle of your forehead, between your eye that is associated with your brain. True vision doesn't require sight. It is the sight that you have, the vision that you have, that doesn't require the two eyes that gives you sight. It is the mental vision, the sense of knowing. It is the sense of perception and the ability to see things without your sighted eyes. That's what it is. The Nerd Herd family says, you are beautiful, baby nerd. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, y'all. This is the show producer, aka Mrs. Nerd Herd herself. Make sure y'all get the lovely thumbnails and all those good things, and show research and development and all that good, and production. Shout out to LA Chick for the super chat. I love you guys. I love your holistic gems. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much for the show of, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Thank you so much for your show of love and support, LA Chick. And you always show support, and I love that. Shout out to those who always show support on the Cash App as well. I absolutely unequivocally love and respect you, and I thank you for that show of support to the channel. I just come try to give y'all that good, you know? So your third eye is in your brain, right here. You have your frontal lobe, your prefrontal cortex, where you can obtain information, decipher information. This is where your processing goes on, part of your mental processing. You have the ability to see without your vision. So let's say you are blind. You still have the sense of perception that can tell you where you are relative to if you needed a stick to walk through the house and you banged your stick, knock, 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 knock. That third eye could tell you this sounds more hollow than that area. So that means nothing is right here, no piece of furniture. However, if you bang your stick and it sounds fuller, it's typically because the sound is resonating off of the floor and hitting the couch. And thus it gives it that heavy feel. And that heavy feel says something is in your way. Something is there, which is why people who are vision impaired know how to divert furniture, because the sound of the banging of the stick resonates differently when something is physically present. Some of them have mitigated it down to a science where they can hear if it's lighter on the right side or heavier on the left side, all of that. So it is the ability to see and perceive things without using your vision. Hey, Archangel Michael, how you doing, my brother? Please listen to the teacher. That was the slightest technical support issue. But I know firsthand everything is good at JayZ Hall of Freedom. Thank you, High Judge Natanya. Stay safe. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate that. Let me throw that on the screen. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you so much. And the giveaway, you guys got to understand. So a lot of what takes place on the internet, so much of it is real, but so much of it is not real. So much of it is for the ability to get engagement. So much of it is for the ability to get clickbait without the obvious channels of clickbait. So when someone says something like, when they go live and they like, hold on, what's going on here? Y'all can hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in. That only means I know as soon as I come on, the recipe for this video to go broad is engagement and likes. So when someone all of a sudden comes on to every one of their lives and says, can y'all hear me? I don't think they can hear me. Y'all can hear me? And then you put a 1 in the chat, you're now giving engagement, which is going to send. And that was figurative. I didn't even need y'all to actually put a 1 in the chat, but that's what I'm talking about. That is your third eye. Your third eye will tell you, no, that's a rhetorical statement. It's not real. I know some content creators, the start of every one of their things, they say, oh, what is it? What, they can't hear me. Y'all can hear me? Put a 1. They say it all the time. It is simply for engagement. And to me, it's disingenuous because it's like, stop faking people out. It's like reality TV, where at the end of that particular episode of Real Housewives of the something other, Real Housewives of West Bubba, there's always some scene where you'll see Nene snatch a wig or say, I snatch a wig, and grab a wig, and the person will lean back and you'll be like, ooh, I can't wait to see next week. And then when you get to next week and you see that scene, it's nothing like it was edited to look like at the week before. But at the end of that episode, it's going to be another dramatic thing. It is simply engagement. Same thing for reality TV, same thing for YouTube. The whole, I'm always, because if you think about it, what did she say? All she said was, I always support Lauren, and I don't believe that up there in that studio was like high school. She didn't really say anything negative. She didn't say anything negative, but what it is this, I'm telling you, it is my sincere belief, and I rather operate in transparency. It is my sincere belief. I would rather come in here and say, hey, y'all, put a 1 in the chat so we could get this engagement up so it could send the video out to YouTube, rather than to act like on the beginning of every episode, can y'all hear me? I don't think they can hear me. I respect y'all too much to play in y'all face like that. I'm not trying to do this for engagement. I'm doing this because I absolutely love to do it. Now, no disrespect to other people who want to play in their public's face. That's just not what I choose to do with y'all. I choose to be transparent and real. I don't need to fake these things to get you guys to come. Wouldn't you much rather me respect you and say, hey guys, throw a 1 in the chat as soon as y'all come in so this can get our engagement up? I'd much rather deal with y'all like that. I'm not of the ilk to play with y'all and be like, oh, I don't think I can hear me. I don't think y'all can hear me. Well, that is what other people do, and that is part of the engagement that the Breakfast Club did. I don't know how many of you watch the Breakfast Club or listen. First of all, while I don't know this to be a fact, it is upon my information and belief. And like I said, so many of us are on the spectrum. People fall somewhere on the spectrum. Some people fall on the higher end of the spectrum. Some people fall on the lower end of the spectrum, but lots of people are on the spectrum from one degree or another. One person who I believe is on the spectrum, just based on how he asks questions, how he can be right next to a person and not truly listen, how he listens for his own perception of what he wants to hear as opposed to what the person says, is Charlamagne. Charlamagne has a very unique set of listening skills and reaction. But what I will say is Charlamagne is brilliant at marketing and at engagement. He's brilliant. I guarantee you Charlamagne came up with this and said, you know what? So Charlamagne has his own podcast network. Shout out to Charlamagne for having that. And I would say he started it as a result of when Dame Dash was on there and they tried to clown Dame Dash, and Dame Dash was like, yo, y'all up here, y'all the Breakfast Club. Do y'all own your show? Do you own any of your stuff? You don't own nothing. You just sitting up here running your mouth, but you don't own nothing. He was the one that put it in their head. Get your stuff together. This is a business, man. Make it business. And that's when they started delving into external and additional things and owning their brand and owning the business and creating an entire ecosystem that if they ever step away from the radio, their money doesn't stop. Charlamagne is brilliant at marketing. He told Jess, I'm sure when they had their meetings, he was like, yo, we got to create a buzz to get people talking to make them think something's going on. Now, Lauren LaRosa and Jess are two different people, two vastly different styles of reporting. Lauren is young. She's not a parent, and she has that hungry, and she is still young enough to be obsessed with social media and celebrities. And so the way she pursues a story is going to be different the way Jess with the mess pursues a story. Jess feels like I have celebrity in my own regard and own right, whether you think that to be valid or not. She's a mom, so her purview on the world slightly different, and she feels like I'm my own brand too, so I ain't sweating these dudes. I had a thing before I came here, as opposed to Lauren, who is in the service class of that outer perimeter of the industry. She still wants to know celebrities. She wants to be around celebrities. She loves social media. She's young. She loves all that celebrity gossip. That's her thing. And so Charlamagne, with his brilliance, decided to use the fact that all of these gossip was on the internet saying, oh, where's Jess with the mess? Lauren is there all the time. She's going to lose her job, because people love low vibrational shit. They love it. Some of y'all out there in social media land eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, boo. That's why this thing called YouTube, the machines keep rolling. That's why you got people that got 247,000 views for some gossip trash, and somebody who dropping gems got 1.2 thousand. I've had, my biggest show was Adria English. That's a shame. I'll be dropping gems. I'll be dropping information. But She Diddy and Her Craziness was my highest rated show. It's like 40-something thousand views. Organically on its own, because people like low vibrational shit. I'll be dropping gems, how to save your life, how to stay out of the matrix, how to not be beholden to pharmaceuticals. Are y'all sharing this? Are y'all going, if you watch it on your TV, like a lot of us do, I'm a nosebleed watcher. I like to watch from the TV. And so when you're watching from the TV, you don't necessarily, shout out to Beiji Boo. Let me put this comment on the screen. Oh. She said, my child is autistic. I would not be surprised if Charlamagne was on the spectrum. I believe wholeheartedly. So let me give you a little background on what I used to do. I, for many years, as well as many of my family members, used to work for the New York State Office of Developmental Disabilities. I used to work for NYS OMRDD. And with that, lots of people on the spectrum. And the spectrum has a lot of stages, and it teaches you how people answer questions, how they receive information, how you can see, I can see when Charlamagne's brain is working, he's looking off to the side. He concocted this. Go on Instagram, make this statement, don't really say nothing, but say little things, to say the show is run like high school. She literally said, let me tell you how she trapped the whole internet in falling for the okey doke. Yo, y'all don't know. Up there at that show, I'm just saying, it's run like high school. Statement one. I always be supporting Lauren. I always be. She might support me in the studio, but I don't ever see it on my social media. Two. I mean, Angela Yee is not crazy, okay? I'm going to just say that. She is not crazy. Three. I don't got time for this because, like I said, y'all don't know. I be going through a lot. I do my own thing, and I don't got time for nobody disregarding me, treating me. And Envy be supporting me because he's a family man. He's a dad, so he gets it. Charlamagne play too much. He always be saying little. She didn't say nothing, but it was the Blair Witch Project of radio finesses, of YouTube finesses. The Blair Witch Project. You remember that movie? You never saw one act of crime. You never saw any blood except for a time where a tooth was pulled out and it was sitting with a little blood on this kind of cloth. You only heard screams in the background, in the distance, in dark, rumbling through the bushes. Somebody screaming, no, and running. You never saw one act of violence. And people were terrified of the Blair Witch Project. And if you asked them about it, in retrospect, they'd be like, that was one of the scariest movies ever. And you never saw one iota of crime. It simply relied on your perception. Your perception. They finessed the whole internet off of a nothing burger. And here's the deal. You don't have to like any of them. Listen, DJ Envy, I still feel like he's very immature. He needs healing. No disrespect to light skins, but what we have as the quintessential light skin syndrome, DJ Envy has it. Now, I can see why he has it because Charlamagne is hyper-focused on color. He's the quintessential dark skin brother who feel like he lives in a light skin brother's shadow. So he has to bring it up all the time. I mean, it is just in a reference show, but it's overboard how much he brings it up. Jess, I think she's cool. I've seen her in lots of different things. I'm sure she's a nice person and a great mom. Not my particular brand of funny. Okay, no shade. But as a host, I think she has a place there. It's a rush hour time slot morning show that creates a buzz, keeps things going. I find, and Lauren LaRosa, like I said, she's young. She still has that quest to be with celebrities or around celebrities or to know celebrities or to interview them. So she's the perfect person for that because they're a celebrity-oriented podcast. They're not even a radio show. They were a podcast, even though they started out as a radio show. But they were savvy enough to get themselves branded as a podcast. Charlamagne owns the Black Effect Podcast Network that he created after Dame Dash had to set them straight about not having any business about them. Shout out to Dame Dash for their success. They all are like authors now, and they have other endeavors outside of the Breakfast Club. He taught them how to see the business out of the platform they had and make it a business. I love that. So many people fall for the okey doke, and guess what? This girl ain't went up there and said nothing. Everybody was like, "Oh, they got beef. They got beef." Jess. I like Lauren better than Jess. I hate Jess. I mean, do y'all look at yourselves? Do y'all see the comments on YouTube? Oh my God. People telling on themselves. And guess what? She never said, I hate this show. I want to quit. They're terrible. Never once. I'm telling you, social media is a science experiment on the human race. And baby, y'all are failing. If this was the final test for graduation, the internet would have a fat 0. Maybe 10 points for writing your name correctly on the paper. Y'all got to stop falling for the okey doke. The man created a buzz to get people clicking on, to get people engaging, to get people commenting for the sole purpose of announcing that he gave Lauren his own show. Set up. Boop, bop. That was somebody throwing the volley. You getting ready to swing the bat, boof, and knock it out of the park. Shout out to the Breakfast Club for finessing the whole internet. and boo, boo, zero for the internet for falling for the okey doke and lowing and falling to their lowest possible common denominator. It was an internet psyop, and y'all went for it hook, line, and sinker. You got to engage your spirit of discernment. I choose not to use those tactics with y'all. I'd rather say, here, guys, here's the topic. Let's talk about this, that, and the third. Let's engage and discuss this, that, and the third. How come y'all keep falling for the okey doke? I could make a bunch of thumbnails that got suspicious titles for y'all to be like, ooh, let me see what she's talking about over here. When are y'all gonna let go of the gossip? You know, gossip is a sin. You know, God considers gossip a sin. Discussing an issue is one thing. Going back and forth on a topic and discussing a topic is one thing. Let me see. Oh, shout out to my homie Roz and this. I mean, everybody in the Nerd Herd is my family, but shout out to my homie Roz. Just hilarious subjects and verbs. Oh, yes, honey. They do not agree at all. They are actually divorced. Yes, they are. And in an acrimonious divorce. Shout out to Roz. Yes, honey. You get the golden star today because that statement is 100% fact. Baby, I don't particularly care. Here's my thing. I think the show needs more balance from a female perspective, from a woman's perspective, because they're both young and they still have that young mentality of how they see things. It's either rache or how poppin' is it? And we make up more. There's more about women than whether we're ratchet or whether something is popping and what the celebs think about it. And I want us to have a reflective. Now, we do get reflective women on the show when it pertains to a guest coming on the show and discussing a topic. Sometimes we come across very mature women. Let me plug this computer up, honey, for they kick me right on out. Let me get this computer plugged up, honey. The Holy Spirit told me to check the battery, and that sucker was like, "You about to be out of here." It didn't even warn me. Always Blessed. Let me put that on the screen. Always Blessed said, me and my husband was saying the same thing. Yeah. Luna said, the Breakfast Club show been a psyop. Yes, honey. And here's the thing. I listen. They are a drive time show. They have substantive things to say. You know what? I used to feel like that about him, but reframe it. I hear what you say. Roz said, I think Charlemagne is an op. I don't trust him. Here's the thing. He could very well be, and I will neither confirm or deny because I can't say that emphatically. But upon my information and belief, I would say more often than not, or more likely than not, he is on the spectrum. He has a spectrum disorder. And I can tell this is upon my own belief system, based on my expertise of working in the field and interacting with people who themselves are on the spectrum. And here's the thing. Being on the spectrum is not a curse, and it's not a bad thing, and it's not negative. Okay, let's just say that, because I know people seem to, what would there be a show without me touching my hair? This hair is always in my face. Anyway, I have it behind my glasses and it's literally stinging my eye and irritating me. I'm sorry, guys. But you know, I just feel like I have a big forehead. So I always want to shield my forehead because it just feels so glossy and big. Anyway, I don't think, here's the thing. Carla said there, shout out to Carla and her mom. They are trying to continue to beef up the narrative for demographic. Yeah, that's into the gossip biz. Yes, indeed. 100%. You get a gold star too. They understand, and I don't think it's just one demographic that's into the gossip biz. I think they have proven lots of people. I don't care how grown you are. So many people are into the gossip. When are we going to grow up, guys? When are we going to grow up? Who put that? He plays the fence. Luna. He does. Because he understands how important playing the fence is in the industry that they're in. Remember, their comments are based on where their dollars come from. Now, Envy used to go to college with my sister. I believe Envy to still be a bit immature. His comments reflect that he's immature, petty, unhealed. Jess admits that she's petty as well. And so does, and we just know Charlemagne's petty because his point of view modulates based on who's on the show, who he's beholden to behind the scenes that we can't see, who they're discussing that will impact their dollar. Because for a long time, they wouldn't even give substantive discussions about the Puffy situation. And now they will discuss it. And they still play the field because they throw it off on Lauren LaRosa. Like, okay, well, here we got somebody as a buffer, so we don't have to say it. And then they put their 2 cents in. But it's because they were on that, what was Puffy's podcast thing called? What was his little podcast platform called? I can't remember the name of it. Well, here's the deal. He worked, that's right, Lakeisha. He worked with Wendy Williams for years, and he knows that gossip sells. Absolutely. And also, he understands that humans don't really evolve. They may get older. They may get, yes, he had a weird case as well. He did, Veggie Boo. Oh, the adults are not grown-ups. They'll begin as perfect children and they cross the, hey, that was a good statement. Yes, he did have a weird case too. Yes, he did, Veggie Boo. He did. It is all an act. It was all an act to drum up support to announce the Lauren LaRosa show on Charlamagne's Black Effects podcast. They have an upcoming Black Effects podcast in Atlanta. Thank you, Black Girl About Town, Revolt TV, and Beiji Boo, Revolt TV. Exactly. So he has his own podcast network. And he's probably going to fill up, and I bet you soon you will hear that Charlamagne releases his own network, because now that there's this void in the Revolt space, he's going to see, if he's savvy enough as a businessman, he will say that's a space I can move into, because he has the bandwidth, he has the podcast network where people can have their own shows eventually and all that, and he has a brand, an established brand already. Good evening, Tylisha. How you doing, Tylisa? Shout out to Luna for the super chat. She said, Age of Aquarius. Today, people think TikToks and podcasts more than traditional news as a source, and the Blackfish Club plays on that. Indeed. And here's why. Because the news did the same thing. You know, I always tell you guys about Project Paperclip. The news is full of CIA agents. So you couldn't really trust what they told us anyway. However, they had society in a chokehold. People believed that whatever they said on the nightly news was the law and a fact. People thought the news was the end all be all. But as society shifts, look how things continue to evolve. Because remember, newspapers, there wasn't a day we didn't have newspapers in my house. We got the newspaper every day. Newspaper, when last has anybody touched the newspaper? Then as that started to shift and things started to become online, people would just get the Sunday paper, because you had to have a Sunday paper in your house now for all the sales circles and all. And now we live in a digital world where everything is online. You don't need to have this massive stack of paper in your house. I went to the Kroger the other day. I saw a Sunday paper. I said, they still sell the Sunday paper? I couldn't believe it. I was astounded. I didn't know it was still out. And who's buying it? Well, there's a demographic who still believes in the paper, older people. And there's a digital divide for people who don't know how to get onto the internet, are not computer savvy. They're going to still tend to get their information from the news. And then some people are purists and they love paper. I'm a purist. I love books. I love paper. I like pen and paper. I have notebooks all over. I write down stuff. I want us. Carla said, I can't stand the gossip chitlin circuit. Absolutely. Me either. And that's what this post is about. I want us to get, now listen, if there is a particular platform that you love and you just love what they have to say, you love their perspective on things, that's cool. Go ahead and support them. But I'm tired of this proverbial playing in the public's face, and I'm tired of the public not realizing it. I'm tired of people stepping to their lowest common denominator and being the winner of the low vibrational Olympics. Like, we got to, see, Roz said, I used to buy Sunday papers for the coupons. Absolutely. So yes, that's a great thing, because you got to get coupons. You got to buy that paper to get those kind of coupons. Somebody says, I have a client in her 90s who still reads the newspaper. That's dope. So they release the newspaper every day still? I thought it was just online or a Sunday paper. Wow. Shout out Luna said, yes, I agree, YouTube auntie. Thank you. I like that name. So quite a few people have been calling me YouTube auntie or YouTube godmother. I absolutely love the name. I think because a godmother is a special person. A godmother is a person that you has exemplified motherhood to such a degree that you said, you know what? In the event I have an untimely passing or I cannot fulfill my duties as a mother, I trust this woman to mother my children. That's a huge deal. That is a massive deal. That means you are contemplating your own mortality and you're literally saying, I might not get there with you, but mine eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the Lord. And in case I don't get to the mountaintop with you, don't worry, we as a people will get to the promised land. You are determining that in the event I am no longer here, this is who I want to fulfill my job as a mother. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate it. I'm humbled and honored to be regarded as that. I want us to, while we're making those kind of grown decisions, I want us to also listen. I got to do, I never thought of cutting a bang in my locks, but my gosh. Nyanya, can you send me some kind of clip? I think I'm going to have to cut a bang in my locks. There we go. There we go. I think I actually did it. I tucked it under and put the hair on top of it. So I might be okay. I want us to not play this now, to each his own. Some people might like the game. And to that regard, if you like the game, who am I to come in between it? But I think there's a way where we can effectively still get the information out without insulting the intelligence of our public and without our public wanting to be treated like that and have your people play in your face. To me, it's a lack of respect. I think it would have been as successful as ever to announce to come. You log on to the Breakfast Club. They got balloons and stuff in the studio, and it's like, congratulations, Lauren LaRosa. Lauren LaRosa, we had an announcement to make. Lauren LaRosa just was given her own show on the Black Apex podcast. And everybody would have celebrated and all that, but no, they felt like, let's create drama. And everybody fell for it. You know how many videos, how many views are out there for people like, is Lauren LaRosa kicking Jess out of her spot? Lauren LaRosa said she don't like Jess and Jess don't like her and it's jealousy. No, y'all infused all that other stuff into it. They ain't say none of that. She said Lauren always, in the studio, she be, I say hi, Lauren, and she responds and she says she support me online, but I don't see her support me on her social media. Y'all took that and ran with it. She never said we got beef. Innuendo, we talk about it all the time. Innuendo, conjecture, and speculation. When are y'all gonna get it? When are y'all gonna stop falling for the okey doke? Have your spirit of discernment lead you. Father God, give me the wisdom to decipher this in a meaningful way. Show me the truth of this matter, Father God. Instead of, oh, girl, you heard they got beef over there at the Breakfast Club. Oh, girl, you heard this one got beef. Now there's enough real beef in the world. There's enough real beef. I could do a separate show and talk about the Kanye stuff. And perhaps I will. Now let's get into since we talked on these topics about developmental disabilities and things of that nature. And Kanye has crashed out yet again. And I can give y'all some insight into that because God, the Bible says those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Incidentally, I have on my glasses too because, baby, I had to take my lashes off. Baby, that pollen, ooh, child, these eyes were swollen up. And I do the homeopathic remedy. But my eyes were so irritated, so inflamed, I had to literally get some Benadryl. It was that bad. It was that bad. So I had to pull them lashes off and everything, child, because ain't nobody got time for that. It is too itchy to be contending with the pollen and the eye irritation and lashes. They just don't go hand in hand. But I want our people to become wise. I want our people to stop entertaining gossip. We're supposed to be disciples for the Lord. Gossip ain't got no room and no space in the body of Christ. None. There's a difference between discussing topics. We can discuss topics. I'm an infotainment podcast to inform you of information and to entertain you while I'm giving you that good information and we're having discussions. I don't want y'all. Listen, I take lemongrass regularly, baby. I take lemongrass regularly. This is just, and to really, when I first moved out of town, my eyes used to be swollen shut at this time of the year. Swollen shut, looking like, I was dating Mike Tyson, and he punched me in my eye, or I was a woman. I'm sorry, Mike. I don't want to disparage your thing, but it looked like a Mike Tyson worthy eye punch. That's how swollen my eye used to look. I'm not saying Mike Tyson is violent. I'm saying he's a wonderful guy. Kanye has crashed out yet again. Yes, Luna. So Kanye has crashed out. Kanye has crashed out because a lot of things have been revealed about how JayZ was doing him. There's a lot of other podcasts. Some of y'all might not watch some of these podcasts, but they're talking about how JayZ is the gatekeeper for the white industry. And when he has this Rock Nation brunch and this, that, the other, it is for the purposes of showing the upper echelon whites in the industry. Oh, look, I got these ninjas under control. I'm their boss. They come to me. They wouldn't dare turn down my invitation. And really, if you live a life where you're so obsessed with what they consider the elite crowds or celebrity crowds, you will always run. How many people, put a 1 in the chat, put a 2 in the chat, if prior to all of this coming out, if you were invited to the Rock Nation brunch, let's just say for a second, you were dating someone or you had a good friend and they were in music and they got invited to the Rock Nation brunch. Now be honest, prior to all this case and this information come out and Jane Doe, if you were invited to the Rock Nation brunch, put a 2 in the chat if you would have gone and accepted the invitation. We're being honest, guys. If you would not have accepted the invitation, put a 3. But if you would have went, if you were somehow invited to the Rock Nation brunch prior to all of this happening, would you have accepted? 2, if you would have accepted the invitation and attended. 3, if you would not have accepted. Hey, what up, Dex? My homie Dex, Crown Heights in the building. Okay, I see a few more 2s than 3s, but I definitely see some 3s. Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the deal. That's a real thing. You guys are, it's a real thing. These are people that are created to entertain. They are some of the most amazing songs. Here's the thing, especially when it comes to music. Music is so intrinsically tied to the stages in life and memories that we enjoy. A particular song can evoke or emote a feeling inside of you that corresponds with what you were doing when that song originally came out, the time, the place, a memory tied to it. You could have met your husband at you could have went to a pool party with your girls and you remember that song because it was on the minute you saw your husband for the first time and he came and asked you to dance. I mean, that's a real thing. And so we then tie the feelings, the good feelings of the memories, whether good or bad, to the song and thus to the artist. And so people want to be around. If you remember when they used to make wedding CDs and you had songs that pertain to you and you put them on a CD and gave it to the guests? Any one of those people in the songs in your wedding CDs, if they invited you into a circle with them, most people would have gone. People idolize celebrities. That's why the show is called American Idol. People love idols, even though the 10 Commandments and all of the edict of the Bible is thou shalt not have idols. But people got idols because this stuff is intrinsically tied to our thoughts, emotions, feelings, memory, journey, life experiences, all that. But as you grow in your spiritual walk, as you grow in your relationship with God, some of them songs that was the very best songs that you ever heard, you start listening to the words, you really be driving and you listen to words, you're like, huh? Think about it. Think about it. There's some songs there's one, a New Edition song, Underage, smack it up, flip it, rub it down. I could do the wild thing. They're admitting to pedophilia. And people be singing them songs like, hey, that's my song. Listen to the words. There's a lot of songs that I used to love. And when they come on, I'll be like, no, I ain't partaking. No. because with age comes wisdom, and wise counsel is for the elders. Strength and might is for the youth, and wise counsel is for the elders. Look at Do Me Baby. There you go. Do Me Baby. Look at all the other songs. Me and Mrs. Jones, Infidelity. You know how you want to know the first time I love oldies. I'll be in here. You know when Saturday when y'all be cleaning, your mama put on the oldies and you got to get and if you can't find the dustpan, you better get an album cover, but you better sweep up that dust. I'll be in here, ring my bell. There you go. I'll be in here cleaning, carrying on. And Nirvana was probably 11 because she's always been very erstwhile and brilliant. And I'm in the kitchen just cutting up, I think, fruits. I was cutting up vegetables to, make my season and all that. And Nirvana said, "Oh, that's what we're doing? Infidelity songs? Y'all talk about our music and y'all in here singing infidelity songs." And I was like, "God, you don't know about this good music." And then I stopped and was like, "We meet every day at the same cafe, 6:30. And then she'll go her way and I'll go mine. Tomorrow we meet at the same place at the same time. Me and Mrs. Jones." Mrs. He didn't say Miss, he said Mrs. Not only is he married, she married too. Infidelity song. I said, I was called out by my child. It really made me start paying attention to everything. And some of the songs I love the most is out of pocket. How do you reconcile that with your spiritual walk with the Lord? We try to say, okay, I'm gonna separate. They was young. They didn't know better. And so we have to learn to separate the artists from their music. We can understand that in their youth, they said things because they weren't wise and someone was pulling the strings like a marionette. And they said things and broached topics that they wouldn't possibly agree with now. However, with age comes wisdom. It is said that JayZ is the gatekeeper for the industry. And so when Kanye was trying to go out on tour and Live Nation would not just sign the $20 million thing for him to go out on tour, JayZ went to them, they was like, "Yo, if you sign for him, we'll do it." And JayZ did. Now, they didn't tell Kanye that. They kept all of that from him. He believed it was he earned through his merit and through his record sales, ticket sales, the potential for growth, all of that he earned that tour money. If you got somebody who's a gatekeeper behind the scenes orchestrating deals without telling you, then they treat you like they son. They try to son you. And a lot of this crash out and him saying things about their children is about him finding out that JayZ has been sonning him all along and feeling betrayed by the sonning and wanting to get some get back at him. He feels like, wait a minute, you've been manipulating me behind the scenes, doing all this stuff. And then here you come trying to talk to me like I'm your son and excommunicate me and reject me. See, Geminis, my pastor says horoscopes are demonic. Listen, I believe in serving. Now, my pastor is a man of God. I believe in serving with the shepherd and respecting the shepherd of my house. But I also believe that there are going to be things that we disagree on. I happen to know there are similarities based on God created all of this. And if God designated that we would have earth, moon, and stars, solar system, whether you believe flat earth or round earth, the sun revolves around this or this revolves around that. We are all, when you are born when the earth and the gravitational pull of the earth are in a specific position. Those placements, times, place, solar, lunar things bring about different characteristics. And it's true. I could tell you, I could interact with somebody and be like, "You a Virgo, ain't you?" And they're like, "How you know?" Because I know Virgo behavior. I raised 2 of them. I know Virgo behavior. A Virgo, once they show interest in something, baby, it's their name, address, zip code, and their social security number. They're going to learn that thing inside out. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. They will be experts in their field. If you know someone who is a subject matter expert and truly well-grounded and diverse in their field, I bet you they are Virgo. Don't nobody get down with something that they love like a Virgo. When I tell you they learn it inside and out. My child is obsessed with K-pop and Korean language and culture. It ain't my particular, I don't have an aversion to it. There's some songs I don't like because they be biting, they swagger jack all our stuff. They think they black people. They white-skinned black people. They want to be. But I don't have an aversion to it. What I have an aversion to is they never give us credit. But baby, my child loved K-pop and Korean culture so much. She got me, and mira Natanya. And I ain't Korean and don't want to be and ain't interested. But I know it that well because she knows it. And I'm an engaged parent, so I'm always listening. I'm always engaged. I'm always, I'm not interested in Korean, nothing. She'd be like, Mommy, I'm going to live in Korea. And I'm just like, why do I got to live in Korea? I don't want to. But wherever she go, I go because that's my buddy. My buddy. Wherever I go, she goes. So if she gonna live there, I'm gonna live there too. I know something about a lot of people. If you know somebody who is goal-oriented, get they ish done. Now, Virgo could be focused, hyper-focused on what they love and know it inside out. What's that all about? Know it inside out. And it's not necessarily it doesn't have to necessarily be, it's not mutually exclusive that it has to be tied for money. They love what they love, what they love. Now, I'm going to tell you who knows their stuff and goes hard in the paint, and it better be tied to money. If you know somebody that is about their business, goal-oriented, focus-oriented, they are usually not necessarily process-oriented, but they're results-oriented. At the end of this endeavor, this is what my expectations are. I got deliverables at the end of this interaction. Taurus and Capricorn. About that cheddar, cheese, cheddar, guapanisha, whatever you want to call it, gold doubloons, they about that cheddar. They're going to have them some business. They're going to own them a few houses. They're going to own some properties and some land and be involved in a whole bunch of endeavors. And they're going to have that guapanilla because they're about that cheddar. Creatives, baby. Geminis, but wow, creatives. When I tell you, we're cerebral, we're very air sign flighty. We go with the wind, we hyper focus on something. I love toothpicks. Okay, toothpicks for 2 weeks straight. We collecting toothpicks. We know the different toothpicks. We know the toothpicks from Korea as opposed to toothpicks that are made out of wood as opposed to we get hyper focused. And then we get our fill of something and we float on to the next thing. It's Geminis. Very, very brilliant. Balanced, born in the middle of the year, balanced like a mug, clearly defined on both of our vast, and people like to say, Geminis is two-faced. No, we're not. Geminis, all people have two distinct elements to their personality, two distinct sizes, two distinct elements. Everybody's not keen on both their sizes. Some people don't think they have two sides. They think they're one way all the time. Jokes on y'all. The people who are well aware of the duality that exists in them are Geminis. We got one time where we are the life of the party. We are the social butterfly of the scene. Everybody wants to be around us. We have a magnanimous and magnetic personality and all of that. And people are drawn to us. We're creative. We're talented. We speak on what we know. And baby, do we know that ish inside and out. What's that all about? But baby, if you step, and Geminis, we're very cerebral, so we could pick and choose. I don't see them. I ain't sweating that. Bye. And we are unbothered. But if you ever, y'all know what I'm going to say. If you ever step on, let me get some gold stars out. Y'all put it in the chat. What am I about to say? If you ever step on that, type in the chat what I'm about to say. Come on, y'all slacking at your macking. I'm waiting to see who's going. If you ever, hey, shout out to LA Chicken Luna. The gold stars go out, baby. Them gold stars go out. If you ever step on that pinky toe, the one with the corn. Hey, shout out to Honeybee, baby. Y'all know your girl. If you ever step on that pinky toe, the one with the corn, point of no return. You cannot stop them. It is a freight train going 1 million miles a minute. You cannot stop. A la Kanye West. A la Tupac. A la Biggie. A la they not like us. The other day I was in the car with Nirvana. A new Kendrick song came out. I said, I didn't know Kendrick made this song. She was like, yeah. I said, is he a Gemini? This is giving very Gemini. She gets on her phone, looks it up and says, yep, June 17th. I said, I know. Listen, I'm telling you, your girl is so, first of all, my pineal gland is completely uncalcified. When I tell you those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, I'm on it. I can, because God gave me a gift, I can experience your energy. And with almost a degree of certainty, I can say, oh, you're a such and such. You are a such and such. You want to talk aloof, unbothered, could care less from time to time, but when they find what they love, oh, baby, they'll take off your head for that. Scorpio and Aries. Tell me I'm wrong. You fall in love with a Scorpio and they ain't loving back with you. Your feelings hurt, baby, because they don't see you. You might as well call yourself Casper. They don't see you unless they've determined that they got a Jones for you. Then you're all they could think of and they fiercely loyal. But try your best. Don't fall in love with no Scorpio that don't see you. Because the joke on you, I don't see nobody. I don't see you. You'll be crying, sitting on the edge of the bed. God, please make him get me. Tell me I'm wrong. And Aries, aloof. Kanye is a Gemini. Not only are Geminis super loving, super creative, Geminis have long sight. Once they shut out all the external noise, a Gemini hones in and they can feel your energy, whether you want them to or not. A lot of Geminis are chosen ones. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's because we are born in the middle of the year, the smack dab in the middle of the year. But there is something about Geminis. But I tell you one thing, step on that pinky toe. It's a freight train you can't stop. Cunning? Hey! I'm not a grudge holder, but when I was younger, I'll lay weight your ass. I'll pay you back in 10 years and 2 days and 14 hours. I'll pay you back on the anniversary of when you filed me 5 years later, when I was younger. Thank God God has delivered me from that, and I don't exist there anymore. You cannot do anything to a Gemini and walk and think you're going to walk away, unless they are at a self plateau of nirvana, complete nirvana. Ooh, elevated, ascended, wise, don't care about all those other things. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me. Cancers, sweet people, will tell you they don't care about you, but they really be in love. Will tell you, I don't see you, I'm not bothered, but really sensitive, hypersensitive, super sensitive, them in Aquariuses. If you got somebody that always say, they be talking about me, this, that, I bet you they are Cancer or Aquarius. Always think everybody's against them and talking about them and got something to prove. There's a lot of similarities. Kanye felt like he was treated, and Geminis and Aquariuses get along and they're attracted to each other. So I know you and your father have a great relationship, I bet. Because Geminis and Aquarius they can work very hand in hand. They have a symbiosis. Right or wrong, Keisha? I want to hear what you got to say. I'm waiting for your response. Now, if a Gemini takes a hold of loving you, baby, they love you till they love you in this whole life cycle and 500 life cycles afterwards. They'll find you back They'll find your spirit back and love you again. That's how Geminis get down. We fiercely loyal, fiercely loyal. But if we perceive disloyalty, ooh, baby, they ain't gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. They're gonna make you respond to them. If you are still walking in your Gemini energy and not healed, or walking in any of your zodiac energy and you haven't ascended, you haven't gotten to a plateau of wisdom where you learn to now self-regulate, social emotional learning, where you learn to self-regulate and you move away from those tropes and stereotypes. And so hence we have Kanye saying things about their kids. Because here's the thing. Focus on the notion that Kanye's rant about their children, and listen, children are supposed to be left out of it. Just like the mafioso says, hey, no women and no children. You know, if they're going to do their dirt, unalive, this, that, undercut, steal money, rob, it's supposed to be around among men. But you are certainly not supposed to seek retaliation on women and children. Let men handle men business. Don't extend it to the family. But Kanye, remember, JayZ came out on stage and said, yo, this is my brother. This is my brother. And so even if they had a fallout, he's like, but I'm your brother. Why are you treating me like this? Why are you rejecting me? Why are you pushing me aside and putting me outside the circle and all that? So Kanye is saying, you're going to give me your attention one way or the other. And see, JayZ has masterfully played the I'm unbothered role, but you was bothered. Jane Doe got you bothered. Jane Doe made you come out of pocket. And so now that Kanye saw that, like, wait, oh, you mean to tell me he really do be bothered? Oh, now I can get his attention. I need y'all to invoke your discernment. Listen, this is back to the Breakfast Club conversation. Invoke your discernment. Kanye said, oh, so you can say something that will get under JayZ's. See, he believed it. He interacted with JayZ personally, and he believed that this man was unbothered about everything. Nobody could get him out of pocket until he heard about the Jane Doe case. You think Kanye give a F about Puffy? No. Kanye's a Gemini, a strategist. He took his behind to that jail or got on the phone like, yeah, my brother, I just want you to know I support you. You know why? Because regardless of JayZ saying, me and Puffy ain't friends, Kanye in the inner sanctum knows not only are they friends, they're brothers. They know each other's business. So he went up there, he leveraged, he played a game of chess. There go that spirit of discernment and wisdom again. He played a game of strategy, chess. He said, this man said he ain't Diddy friend. They not friends. Diddy in jail. Puffy in jail, suffering. He in jail, don't nobody come see him. He out here mad than a mug, ready to bite heads off. Kanye said, ooh, there go my end. That's who I'm going to use. Let me go use him. So now he goes and he does this whole thing like, oh, I'm supporting Diddy and I'm going to put my baby on a song with him and all this stuff because he was trying to win over it. If you guys haven't read the book, The 48 Laws of Power, I suggest you go get it. Think Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. Get that book. Or Sun Tzu, The Art of War. It will teach you strategy. It will help you uncalcify your pineal gland and be able to use your vision instead of your sight to see long game. Your vision instead of sight to see long game. Kanye is playing, he's not even playing chess, he's playing Parcheesi. Let me see how deep your game knowledge go. He's not playing chess, he's not playing checkers, he's playing Parcheesi. That's vintage, that's old school. Or he's playing Go. You know what Go is? That's an Asian-centered game. Go look up Go. It's a game that's international, baby, one of the hardest games to know and to play. I bought my daughter a Go system. We didn't know how to work it or what to do. I ain't had a clue, and I'm brilliant. I could not figure that out. We left that thing anything because I'm about games. I know games teach you strategy. If y'all hear me, and I don't mean hear me like, can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. I mean, do y'all get what I'm saying? Are y'all tracking? Kanye saw the long game. If I want to get under JayZ's skin and he is being accused of doing bad things with Puffy, And now I know that he gets out of pocket and he's totally bothered because Jane Doe got him hot and backed into a corner. Oh, I see what I got to use. My enemy's enemy is my friend. Y'all heard that before? My enemy's enemy is my friend. That's what Kanye did. Anybody who is silly enough to believe that Kanye is supporting Diddy, he played him like a tiny violin. Played him. He played them all. He said, I'm going to align myself. Shout out to Locked for everything. Locked always got what you need right in the chat. He said, I can't access JayZ the regular way. I can't get him to call me or get his attention the regular way. So I am going to talk to his ops and get under his skin. And because Puffy is feeling alienated because everybody is treating him like he got the plague, honey. I'm talking bubonic plague. I'm talking worse than COVID, mask, isolation suit. Everybody stay away because he knows that Puffy feels alone and alienated. He strategically aligned himself with Puffy to obtain any particular information he could to get under JayZ's skin. And he found it. Bye, y'all. The kids. I guarantee you we didn't hear the whole conversation. And this is Puffy's way of also getting back at JayZ. Puffy said, oh, sucker, you think you all that? I got your number. Power move. Bam. Always blessed. She said power I would think as a she is the kissy lips. Power move. Now I'm going to make it where Jay going to have to do something. Bye, y'all. Now y'all understanding what I'm talking about. Y'all tracking with me? Now you get it. Don't think for 1 second Kanye's crazy or stupid. Nah, he's not. He's far from it. He's a Gemini. He is playing the long game. You said Kanye is walking on dangerous grounds, though. Talking about someone's kid can get you unalive before you know it. Okay, shout out to you, Shushu. But here's this. What did Kanye say that was offensive? I don't particularly care for his brand of delivery at all. But what's wrong with what he said? That the kids are special needs? Is that a crime? Is having a special needs child a crime? Is it a disgrace? Is it a disgrace or a crime? If you think having a special needs child is a disgrace, put a 1 in the chat. If you think having a special needs child is not a disgrace and is actually a gift from God, put a 2 in the chat. And whether you think it is a gift per se, but it is a gift from God from the regard that God says, if I think that you are so, there was a song, a reggae song. He who worship gold and vanity have no love for humanity shall fade away. If he think you worship vanity too much and you don't have no love for humanity, he is going to drop something in your lap to humble you. That is God. God said, anything you put before me, I will take away from you. And so if you put your vanity and your fanciness and your money and your prideful and your power and your majesty, and you think you're bigger than me and you think you don't need me, I'm going to humble you. I'm not even making, see, here's the deal. I don't think he was making fun of them. What I think he was doing was strategy. And listen, has anyone put a 3 in the chat if you've ever heard this cliche that existed before I was alive and Kanye, because I'm way older than Kanye. Dang, it just slipped my mind. I'm older than Kanye. That senior moment popping on your ass when you least expect it. I remembered it. All is fair in love and war. Put a 3 in the chat if you've ever heard the cliche, all is fair in love and war. And here's the deal. We are mature. We are wise. We are aware. We know that the R word is inappropriate. Who's to say everybody knows it? Really and truly, I think Kanye's on the spectrum too. I feel like he's a high functioning. He may be a savant level genius. But he's on the spectrum too. I believe that with my heart and soul, which is why his delivery, if you ever dealt with someone who's on the spectrum and is clearly defined as autistic or Asperger's, their delivery is very harsh and blunt because social emotional learning and emotions are not a definitive part of how they deliver it, of their psyche. It's not. The R word is an extremely offensive word. Extremely. I worked in the field. It's an extreme. Listen, you get written up if you call somebody the R word. When I worked for New York State Office of Mental, it was called Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities because they existed that long ago. And when they came into being, that was the appropriate word. That was the word. But with everything, a lot of inappropriate words have been phased out of the general lexicon, and now we have evolved and we use other words. Y'all tracking with me? I'm not saying at all that the R word is appropriate. It's inappropriate. I've always known that. But are y'all tracking with me? It was brutally, unapologetically honest. Shout out to Sandricious. It was brutally, unapologetically honest. 100% gold star and the apple for you. Absolutely. Now, here's the deal with that. Isn't that the definition of autistic? Somebody in the chat said that their child is autistic. If anybody has ever worked with autistic people, or people with Asperger's disease, which is another form of autism, as well as if you've had experience, worked with, or related to anyone with developmental disabilities or delays, cognitive delays, put a 4 in the chat. I want to be able to divide this by topic. Let me close my window because it's I can see everything going by. Put a 4 in the chat if you've had any experience with people with autism or on the spectrum to any degree. Now, tell me one person. Foxy Nyla, Always Blessed, Chandelier Delight, Beiji Boo, Keisha DeBose, Martha Cardiel, Luna, Shushu, Mel Tucker, Locked, Lindsay Lou, Zoe Rose, pardon my Frenchie, Sandricious. In every one of y'all who put a 4 in the chat, Shay, would a description of someone with autism, brutally honest, does that match their personality? Unapologetically brash and brutally honest. That is the way their brain is wired. So if your child had one leg and they said, "Ma, could you get me a drink?" Are you going to punish them because of this disability and be like, "You always thirsty. Hop your ass to the kitchen and get your own drink"? Who's going to say that? Who thinks that's appropriate? Who thinks that's appropriate? You're not going to punish them for their disability. Yet, and I'm like I said, there are 2 things at play here. What is and how it should be. Let's not confuse the two. They're 2 intrinsically different things. What is and how it should be. What is that some people are born with developmental disabilities. How it should be is that we should not bring people's children into the lexicon. You have to understand all of the inappropriate and unbelievable things JayZ has done to Kanye. Kanye found the one thing to get under that skin. You want to know what the defense of defamation is? The truth. That whole, the Carters have not eliminated seeking legal remedy and suing him. How are you going to sue me for saying your children are developmentally disabled? Even if I use the inappropriate word, he absolutely used the inappropriate word, and I disavow that word. However, howsoever, how are you going to accuse me of defaming your kids if they are in fact developmentally disabled? Shout out to Beiji Boo. She said, my child asked a lady in the shop, do you get hungry all the time? Because you're very skinny. He also shouted at a police officer, your breath stinks. Both times he meant no offense at all. Okay. We have to get out of our way of looking at everything from one purview. We have to get out of judging the entire world from one baseline standard of where we exist. That's called projecting. Projecting is not good. It's not good. And suffice it to say, I'm getting ready to be on shaky ground. Some of y'all will agree. Some of you won't agree. Some of you may. And I am saying this hypothetically, because we serve an on-time God. The Holy Spirit is the God of now. Jesus is God the Son, and the infinite high, most high God is the God of all, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Tell me right now if I'm wrong that God, does the Bible say, tell me if I'm wrong, does the Bible, the edict of the Christian belief system, say that God is a God of wrath? Where did we get the word smite or smote or smitten from? The word. God will smite thee if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I need y'all comments. Tell me if you're tracking. Tell me if you because I'm getting ready to make a statement and I want to know, I want to gauge what y'all think of this statement. And I'm not blaming, I'm speaking hypothetically and using their particular situation as a hypothetical by which I make these statements. Hey, Temper, shout out to you, boo. And these are conversations that have to be discussed. I'm glad we are here in the Nerd Herd and we're having these conversations because guess what? These are real life conversations. People out here like, oh, Kanye this, Kanye that, Kanye this. Hello? Who is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent? God. Who is the creator of all things, including life and brains, how they function? Who? So don't you think God knew that if he made somebody autistic and on the autism spectrum, that they would say things in mixed company to people that wouldn't necessarily land properly? Is that a real thing? Put a 5 in the chat if that's a real thing. People, God created us all. He created autisms to operate, function, and think differently. And he understood that they would say things differently. Put a 5 in the chat if that conversation is a succinct and factual basis and idea. God made everything, right? And if God made it, it's all good, right? So don't you think God knew that someone who had an anomaly, whether it was in their chromosomes, whether it was in their whatever, that have created this distinction in them or altered an anomaly in one of their chromosomes that altered the way that their brain develops and thus functions, rendering some people, if we didn't have autistic people in the world, would anything honest, truly honest be said? We function on lies every day. Some people want to call it a little white lie. What is a little white lie? What? Okay, no problem. What is a little white lie? That's people's excusing sin and giving it a cute name to excuse their sin. It's just a little white lie. Is a black lie worse than a little white lie? I don't know. Tell me. A lie is a lie. Yes, Keisha, tell them now. A lie is a lie. But people make the distinction. A little white lie. Why? Because white denotes everything that is pure, clean, fresh as the driven snow. Or at least that's what this English language created, to make you think anything black was bad. A little white lie. They lies. The wife says, honey, do I look fat in these jeans? The husband goes, bing. We're getting ready to go out. We're going to have a good time, hang out with some friends. I want to get lucky tonight. You look amazing, honey. Meanwhile, the back of her butt looked like SpongeBob SquarePants. flat with a shelf. But he wouldn't dare. Because if he was honest, some people would prefer to be cradled and cuddled with a lie instead of respected with the truth. Right or wrong? Is that not what we do in society? Indeed. A fibber, that's right. Another euphemism for lie. But those are cute. Lie. It's just a fib. Or as the Trumpers say, untruths or alternative facts. Hey, honey, does this dress make me look fat? What would a level-headed husband say? Heck yeah? Or, girl, spin around for me. Let me see. Look what you're looking like. Oh, look at my baby. Do your thing, baby. Now, was that the truth? Misinformation, indeed. Fibbing sounds less aggressive, indeed. But ain't it all the truth? Ain't it all the truth? If we did not have spectrum people in this world, would anyone ever say an honest word? Now, I say honest word, but I told y'all before, I make jokes. I always say I self-diagnose myself as an adult. And I say to my daughter, and I swear, I say, it's my tism. I've never been diagnosed as autistic, but in my mind, I'm so uniquely different. And people say I'm so blunt. I've heard that my whole life. You're so blunt. I said, I started really, because I always self-examine. I always do self-introspection. I'm always like, okay, that line I delivered, did that land softly? Did that land in a way that this person could accept it? They have a weird look on their face. Did I say that a little abrasive or brash? I'm always self-assessing, as we all should do. Take guys, self-assess. Y'all see me self-assessing. I come back, I say, listen, I don't hate what's his name? Ticket TV. I feel like he does mispronounce everything and this, that, and he curse everybody out if they don't agree. However, that's his journey. He got to deal with that with God. I came back and said, we got no beef. I let it go. Move on. I don't hold grudges. It don't feel right to me. It feels stupid. Yeah, I'm unapologetically blunt. Listen, Keisha said, yes, unapologetically blunt. I like it because you speak facts. Listen, I would love somebody to hurt me with the truth than to cuddle me with a lie. I promise. I promise. Martha Cardile said, maybe I'm on the spectrum and did not know. Listen, go online and look for how to, matter of fact, on YouTube, there was a video I saw years ago. It said, how to tell if you're on the spectrum as an adult. Baby, you're going to be shocked when you go through that list. When they're going through the numbers, you're going to be like, oh, dear, I'm on the spectrum. Here's the thing. If you love God and all his creations, and you understand God made people and things the way he made them, then you'll understand that on the spectrum is not a curse. It's not an insult. People are insulted because for years upon end, people felt like if something was wrong with my child or my child had a diagnosis, it somehow was reflective of me being not good enough that I created this child. Let's call it a buck. Let's call a fact a fact. That's a real deal, Holyfield. People think if something is wrong with their offspring, their progeny, the seed of their seed, that it is a reflection on something being wrong with them. And that is the only way you can take their children are now, like I said, the R word is offensive and not good. But other words for it would be developmentally delayed, cognitively delayed, developmentally disabled, among a host of other words. Autistic, Asperger's syndrome, on the spectrum, whole lot of other words that sound politically correct. If he said JayZ's children are on the spectrum, JayZ's children have developmental delays, would that have been better? Would it not still be thus a fact? Why is everybody so mad? Why is everybody so offended? Because people think having a child with special needs is offensive. And they want to see their good Beyonce as perfect. She could never have a child like that. Well, hello. Yes, she could. Any of us could. But for the good grace of God, there go I. It could have been any one of us. Here's the beauty of having a special needs child. They humble you in a particular kind of way that you can't get from nowhere else. They will humble you. They will put you in a level where you start to look at the world from a different purview and a different set of rose-colored glasses. You will start to view the world from a perspective of not that I'm perfect, I'm flawless, I'm that chick. No, you will view the world from, oh my God, look how inaccessible the world is. My child has a wheelchair and we can't even go over to that gift shop because there's nowhere for her to access the sidewalk. You will start to look at the world as unfriendly, unkind, and lacking accessibility for your child who has special needs and has the right to go here, there, and everywhere you do. Sometimes the Most High wants to open our eyes. Sometimes the Most High will check us, and other times the Most High will smite thee, because I gave you a son who is fully grown, your firstborn, looks exactly like you, but you rejected him. The stone the builder refused becomes the cornerstone. Hey, Lindsay Lou said, my son is a gift from God. Asheo. To God be the glory. Yes, indeed he is. And shout out to you and your son. And shout out to the amazing gift. Beiji Boo said, autism is my son's superpower. Asheo. Asheo. To God be the glory. And perhaps God is trying to teach two people who are hyper obsessed with perfection, beauty, vanity, their body, being hypersexual, being in the camera, hacking and twerking your hind parts, thrusting your pelvis in the camera. Perhaps God said, you know what? I think, hey, shout out to Lindsay Lou. She said, wisdom with your tism. That's right. That's right. Shout out. She said, Sandrisha said, I always say that the parents of children who are on a spectrum are honorably selected. Asheo. Because it is a lesson for you on being otherwise able. Now, here's the deal. People get to handle their kids how they want. They get to expose them to fame and all that how they want. They're not going to be able to get away with acting like, oh, we don't say nothing about our kids. We don't put our kids in the media. Hello. Blue Ivy was literally the friggin' dang near the front runner of the tour. Y'all overexpose her. So why you mad if somebody makes mention of the twins? We never see them. And if we see the daughter, you never see the son. You never, except for when he was little, you would see Rumi. Other than that, you never see him. That doesn't leave you reason to say, I wonder if there's some there. Why are they ashamed? Why are you not judging them for hiding that child? Why are you hiding your child? Is a child who has a developmental disability, a cognitive delay, otherwise abled, autism, are they less than? Are they inferior? Should they be hidden? If acknowledging their disability publicly, is that a curse against the person? Why are y'all all so salty? And guess what? You didn't create the R word, neither did I. Is it still said? Was it applicable at one time? So go back and punch the founding fathers in their face for creating such a disgusting word. No, wisdom comes with evolution. Wisdom comes with being elevated. He understood the ramifications of saying the R word, and what he was trying to do in his own way was stick it to the man, aka JayZ. Shout out Shushu. They are a family that projects perfection. This is why they hide him. Absolutely. And what a disgrace to people who are otherwise able. They could be on a platform of excellence and get even bigger following for highlighting their child who has special needs. Keisha Du Bois said their excuse was he doesn't like to be in the spotlight. But their other children always are with their mom. He doesn't like to be in the spotlight? Is that so? Because I've seen lots of pictures every so often where someone's holding him and his eyes are wandering, which is a high indicator of autism. Lack of eye contact. The eyes will go everywhere else but to your eyes. You have to train that into them. But suffice it to say, when you shove your other children or child down the throat of society to then hide the next one. So is it an insult to say somebody got special needs kids? Isn't the truth going to come out eventually, or y'all going to hide him for 30 years? While Blue Ivy and the other one is everywhere. Y'all going to hide him? Carla said, I started crying. I had to go gather myself back up. Tell me, love, why? It hit home? And that wasn't my intention to make you cry. And I hope they were good tears. Brown Girl said, that child is too young to say he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Asheo, sis. My thoughts exactly. Beiji Boo said, yep. Foxy Nana said, I wasn't thinking the same, Brown. Listen, let me tell you something. Anybody who's offended by someone saying this person's child has special needs is a fool, and you don't like special needs people. Why are you offended? Why is that offensive? How is that offensive? How is it defamation if that's what God blessed you with? Because guess what? Shout out to City Girls 2025. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Beiji Boo said, eye contact was one of my son's first signs, and he was diagnosed at age 4. Do you understand that autistics are typically have the distinction outside of the cognitively disabled or delayed or other higher forms of developmental disabilities? A large percentage of children who are now designated autistic or diagnosed autistic were born typically functioning, and they began to demonstrate signs around the age of 1.5, 2. Did you realize that? What is the one single thing I've told people over and over? I see people in the street, you know me. The likelihood that I'm on autism is very high. That I have autism is very high because I don't have a fear of talking to strangers, and I will share. A lot of people get upset, but I will share, especially if I see something that's going to be a problem to someone else. I saw a lady, she was in a dollar store one time. She was talking. She wasn't talking to me, but she was talking. She was like, oh, I'm trying to find out all these things to put in this basket to make a basket for a baby shower. She was steady grabbing pacifiers and this. I said, miss, mind if I give you a suggestion? She was like, oh, what? I said, put all this back. Do not buy this baby, any of these baby products from the dollar store. It's a dollar store. These things come from China where they don't even regulate. They have no FDA regulation on stuff. And not to mention they are slow. They getting a slow burn on us and getting us back for all the things we did to China over the years. Why would you give a baby a pacifier from the dollar store when they use subpar products and they don't have a Food and Drug Administration that regulates how things are made? That paint chip off in the baby, come on. They be biting the back of the pacifier and it's made with impure products. The one thing that all children do before they get to the age of maturity as toddlers out of babydom is put everything they experience the world through their mouth. So autism has to come into their life through exposure to things. People put teddy bears in the crib and little, teeth in ring and all that. You bite and all those impure chemicals is exposed to the baby's brain and retarding the brain. How about, I see people, people like to tell me shut up, but y'all know me. Your girl knows her stuff. I consider myself to be flagrantly brilliant. That's another tism thing. I know a lot of information. It's like Rain Man. Remember Rain Man could tell you everything about numbers and all type of stuff. What about Forrest Gump? You don't know Forrest Gump was autistic? Y'all don't know Forrest Gump was about an autistic man. Look at how he went through the world and knowing things. Come on. Carla said, I'm behind in the live. I wondered if they didn't show the son also because he doesn't want to show them taking care of his not first son. Oh, no. I believe this is the smite that God has granted him. I gave you a son. I gave you a firstborn son. You know how men feel about their firstborn and his son, the firstborn being a son? You know how men feel about their firstborn? I mean, think about it. A firstborn son is a heralded thing for a man. Browning Girl 2003 said, saw Forrest Gump yesterday at work. My resident was watching it. I can tell he was autistic. Absolutely. Absolutely. God will smite thee if he gives you a blessing and you reject it. You ever heard that if God gives you something and you don't take good care of it, he will strip you of everything that you love? So I'm not speaking for God. I am just saying, imagine if God gave you a firstborn son, someone who is equally as talented as you, like Ramir Satterwhite is, someone who is creative and musically inclined like Ramir Satterwhite is, someone who looked just like his daddy. I recognize that Joe Camel anywhere. Ramir, by the grace of God, is two sets of DNA together. JayZ's DNA, his mama DNA. Come together, they make up Ramir Satterwhite. He got the lovely smile from his mama. But he looked like his daddy. That you can't deny that. You know when people walk in and you got that uncle that say, boy, that's your boy right there. You can't spit that. You spit that one out. But yet, even though we are all looking this man in his face and looking at this picture side by side of Ramir Satterwhite and JayZ, if you take a younger picture of JayZ and superimpose Ramir over it, it's a perfect match. Those of you who know how to do that and have the capacity, try it out for size. That's that man's son, but you rejected your son. You ever heard a scripture say, the stone the builder refused becomes the cornerstone? I bet you I could prove to y'all how we going to prove. Let's say JayZ went through life forever and ever and ever and refused. I'm not taking the DNA. I'm not helping him. I'm not protecting that son. That's not my son. I'm not acknowledging him. And JayZ and Beyonce like, yeah, later for him, we're not acknowledging him. We got our perfect nuclear family and we're not acknowledging him. I bet you I know how God works. That's my father. I know how my father thinks. Wouldn't it be funny if all of a sudden, I don't want to say wouldn't it be funny. Isn't it ironic, don't you think? A little bit too ironic. Yeah, I think. It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride and you've already paid. It's a good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figured? Mr. Play It Safe was afraid to fly. He packed his suitcase and kissed his kids goodbye. He waited his whole damn life to take that flight. And as the plane crashed down, he thought, well, isn't this nice? And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little bit too ironic. Yeah, I think. How about, oh, baby, Miss Alanis Morissette, darling. Yes, honey. Yes, Miss Alternative, Miss 1990s, Alanis Morissette. Yes, love. But guess what? How about one day sitting in your house and you're like, my stomach is feeling away. What is this pain? And then it starts radiating to your back and shocking your back. You're like, oh my God, what is that pain? What happened, K-League? I never know say that again. What happened? And this pain starts radiating to your back. And you're like, what is this pain? And it's shocking your back. Sometimes you can't sit up straight. You can't lie down. Your buck are hot to you. You're like, oh my God, what is this? And then you go to the doctor and they say, well, Mr. Joe Schmo, Mr. John Doe, Mr. wherever your name is, I don't know. I'm sorry to inform you, you have kidney disease. Not only that you have kidney disease, if we don't get a match for your kidney so that we can save your life, I think you need to kiss your wife and your kids because you don't have much time left. Nobody would like to hear that, but that happens every day in life. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of that. Some of you may have experienced that. Some of you may have had relatives to experience that, right or wrong. Yes, honey, Trini to the bone. Huh? Y'all have experienced that, right? Or you know someone, or you, at least, if nothing else, you've seen a movie where that is the case. Wouldn't it be ironic if you disavowed a child that was your child that you had and rejected the child and refused to acknowledge the child? And then they did this massive, let's find a replacement. Let's find a kidney. They did a big kidney drive. Say, oh, we want to save our dear Joe Schmo, Mr. Jane Doe, Mr. John Doe, Mr. Minono. They did a big donation drive so that we could find somebody. Part of my friend, she said, my sister-in-law just had a transplant. My husband had a transplant, a kidney transplant. My husband had one. Shout out to the transplant people. Suppose your life was in danger. Not only are you loved in your family and heralded, you're the breadwinner. Plus, you feel like your life is popping, you all is good, and you don't. Hey, she said we love doubles. That's right, Gil. And wait a minute, Beiji Boo, you Bajan? Was that the Beiji Boo, Bajan? Oh my God, wap negil. And suppose the doctor said, we need to find a match to save your life. You don't have time left. You don't have a lot of time left. And then you rejected your firstborn child forever and ever. Said, that's not my son. I don't even see it. I'm not acknowledging the conversation. Me nah take no test. I not feel me pick me. And then they do this massive. And the son says, please acknowledge me. I just want to be acknowledged, Dad. I don't want anything from you. I just want to be acknowledged. I just want you to recognize me as my child. My mom, the woman that you once were attracted to and had interactions with and slept with, that you got with and created me, she is no longer here. She's an ancestor. I just want to have a sense of family in my young life and know who I'm connected to and have love. I don't want your money. I want acknowledgement of who's my other half, who made me. And you like, scram, get out of here. We don't see you. And your wife is like, you better not bring him into our family. We don't want no parts of him. We got our nuclear family all squared away. And they test everybody in the land. Come, hear ye, hear you. Come one, come all. We need to test you to make sure if you a match for Joe Schmo, Mr. John Doe, Mr. wherever your name is, me no know. They test everybody in the land. We can't find, I'm sorry, ma'am, time is running out. We can't find a match. And then Ramir Satterwhite stops up and says, test me. And the doctors say, wouldn't you know it? We found the perfect match. We're scheduling you for surgery today. Bomba cut! Oh, what y'all gonna say then? You don't want the kidney? What y'all gonna say? See, the God that I serve, the God that we all serve, we know favor ain't fair. He don't play fair. He plays according to how he knew us before we were a glimmer in our Father's eye. Anybody ever heard that? Because I've heard it. Anybody ever heard that? Wouldn't that be ironic? Don't you think? A little bit too ironic. Yeah, I think. It's like rain on a wedding day. Free ride and you're already paid. A good advice that you just didn't take. Now who would have thought it figure? You done killed two birds in one stone. You done proved your paternity and got you a transplant. This is a hypothetical. Hypothetical. That's how God operates. Now, would Ramir Satterwhite, suppose that was his hypothetical situation, would he be wrong for saying, oh, I know I'm a match, but my bad, son. I'm not related to you. I don't owe you a debt of anything. You know what? I'm going to keep my two kidneys. I might need one too. Since I've established now that you're my father, I might need an extra kidney. So I can't give you my good one because what happened if mine, things run in families. How foul would that be? Then everybody be like, oh, you wrong. Honor thy mother and father and all this stuff. God said favor ain't fair, and he don't play fair. The stone the builder refused becomes the cornerstone. You know what a cornerstone is? If any building is being plotted out, plans are made, and you're getting ready to break ground, God help you if you don't put a cornerstone first. That's the first stone laid in the foundation of a builder, of a building, by which it gains its strength and homeostasis platform from. That is the foundational stone cast to make sure that building stands erect and firm and meets all the guidelines of being perfectly built. You see a lot of cornerstones on buildings. Churches, you'll see a cornerstone on a building. Let's say you're in a big city, Manhattan, you go and you see this little first, the name of the building, Sears and Company, 1922, cast. It's the cornerstone. Cornerstone is very identifiable. When you go to a building, you can always tell that cornerstone. Shout out to Erica Jameson for becoming a new member. We love you. Welcome to the family, cuz. Let me hold $1. That's your official welcome. Let me hold $1. Leave your shoes by the door, boo, and get your fuzzy socks. Put your feet up on the couch. Relax a while. How foul would everybody honor thy mother and father? Oh, honor thy father ain't running if you don't be father. Hey. Well, listen, you know what? As much as that sounds good, let me put that on the screen. Now, Beiji Boo, here's the deal. While that is true in the world, in the kingdom, that ain't true. See, God gave you some edicts. It's not honor thy mother and father unless they smoked crack. It's not honor thy mother and father unless they beat you a whole lot. Honor thy mother and father unless they be shady. Honor thy mother and father, but mama be bringing man home. Honor thy mother and father, but daddy be sleeping with everything that ain't nailed down. Even a lady across the hall. No. God didn't put a but. I always tell people, when you make a statement and you say, I went shopping and I bought some things for the kids, but when that but conjunction is put, that means forget everything I just said. Here's what I really believe. Everything after the but is what you really think. And so in the kingdom, you don't get an option. Honor that. That was the first edict God gave in the 10 Commandments that you must follow. Direct personal edict. Honor thy mother and father. In fact, the scripture that comes from, Ephesians 6:1. My son said that. Those of you who know me now, you know me. If you know me, you done heard that story. My son was 2 years and 9 months old when he quoted that scripture to me. I didn't even remember Ephesians was a book in the Bible when my son quoted that. But in my journey, in my spiritual walk, in my kingdom walk to know God, in my journey of wisdom, That's right. In my journey of wisdom, that's how I came to know it. For those of you who are newcomers, welcome to the newcomers. Thank you for joining the family. We love you. Let me tell you, let me reiterate that story of my oldest son, Donovan, when he was 2 years and 9 months old. I had my own place and, went over to my mom's house to hang out, had my son with me. By then, I didn't have Devon yet. I just had Donovan. Devon was in utero. And we were hanging out in the kitchen. He was on the front porch. I had on this nice little light wash denim suit, the denim jacket and the pants. I had this little striped red and white shirt with some Nikes that was red, blue, and white, and then a little red and white hat to match. He was fly, clean. Ain't brought no change of clothes because young mamas, we ain't think about all that. It was at my mother's house. We were in the kitchen, and the way our house was, brownstone, you straight through, you could see the porch. So we're in the kitchen. We got a storm door, so the gate is closed, but he wanted to play off the porch. He kept ringing the bell. I said, what you keep ringing the bell? I want to go outside the gate. Nope, you're too small. The boys are riding bikes. They're riding skateboards. They're riding roller skates. If they bump into you, you'll get hurt. So stay on the porch. A little while later, his mind told him, open this gate and go out. And so the gate, a chain link fence, swings out. So if you're on the porch, this is him. It swings out into the open sidewalk. While he opened the gate, and we heard a little clink, and before we could make it to him, the gate swung out. He stepped out, and one of the kids bumped into him, crushed his fingers, all that. And he was like, and I never did baby talk with my kids. So I took him in the house, washed off his hand, got a cold. I told Mommy, give me something. She went to get a cold compress with like a little ice pack or a Ziploc bag with ice or something for his hand. And I sat him on the couch in the living room and I said, are you okay? I looked at him. He had these big doors. I said, don't you know children must obey their parents? Do you hear me? What does that mean? Because I never did baby talk. I didn't do no. We're not raising children. We are raising adults. They are passing through childhood to get to adulthood. So I'm not going to. No. They are mimicking our sound. If you baby talk to them, you are delaying your children's advancement verbally and their audiology and their hearing, and you're delaying them. So I don't do that. I said, children must obey their parents. Do you understand me? Do you understand what I said? He looked at me with these deer eyes, these doe eyes, and was like, yes. And I said, what does that mean to you? My boy looked straight in my eyes as if God himself was watching me and said, Ephesians 6:1. I said, what? What are you talking about? My mother walked in just then. And she said, what? I said, I'm telling this boy children must obey their parents. And he looked me in my face and said, Ephesians 6:1. My mother said, go get the Bible. I went and got the Bible. I read that sentence. Honor thy mother and thy father, for thy days will be long. Baby, I got down on the floor and kissed his feet. I kissed his red and white Nikes. Father God, who is it that you think I am that you put this young man in my womb? Who am I? He was 2 years and 9 months old. I knew right then. I said, no, this is something different. My grandmother took my kids to church, but 2 years and 9 months old? Come on now. Now, mind you, when he was born, he knew how to identify the voices of individuals. He could hold his head up in 2 days, which is not common. He could hold his head up in 2 days. In 2 days, people was talking, and he would lift his neck and look over at the person that was talking. And if somebody across the room talked, he would go and turned his head to each person. I was like, what is this? I've never seen this before. My boy said, Ephesians 6:1. I know that was God. You see why I'm so sold out for Christ? See why I'm so sold out for God? God has been showing up in my, so he was 2 years and 9 months. I had him when I was 19. So I was 21, 22. You understand why I'm so sold out for God? Think about it. A 2-year-old, 2 year and 9 month old looked me in my face when I told him, do you understand that children must obey their parents? What does that mean? He said, Ephesians 6:1. He didn't say Psalms. He didn't say Genesis. One of the scriptures that, Matthew, Mark, and John. No, he said Ephesians 6:1. That's God. Because what's my favorite? Let's see who's going to get a gold star, an apple, and a treat after school. What is my favorite scripture? Put it in the chat if you know what my favorite scripture is. My number one scripture. Drop it in the chat. Let's see who get that gold star. Oh, absolutely, Willie Gross, anointed. Anointed. And definitely my child, baby boo. You're right. Let's see who gets it first. That was God all day at Always Blessed. Absolutely. All day. Wow, Lindsay Lou, your child started lifting his head at 12. Yeah, these are different children. How old is your child? Psalm 91 is my grandmother's favorite. Y'all close. That's my grandmother's favorite. What's my favorite? I always reference Psalm 91. You're right, because that's my grandmother's favorite. And my grandmother, I put her on the pedestal like with God. That's my grandmother's favorite, guys. Oh, he's 21. Okay, nice. What's my favorite scripture that I always... Come on, Keisha. You in the right ballpark. Ephesians what? Come on, y'all. Y'all got to know this. Y'all listen to... Y'all in a nerd herd. Y'all know this. It corresponds with something very special in my life. Ephesians 6:12. Come on with it, Luna. Locked. Luna gets the gold star, apple, and a treat from the treat bag. Ephesians 6:12 is my favorite scripture. My favorite. And I tell y'all always, look up your birthday. Ephesians 6:12. June 12th is my birthday. Ephesians 6:12 is my personal scripture. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities of darkness, against the rulers of wickedness, spiritual wickedness in high places. Beiji Boo, you should read the Bible. Let me tell you something, baby. In this time that we in, I don't want to be close to nothing but God. I don't want to dare. Baby, y'all better hold fast. There you go, City Girls 2025. Ephesians 6:1. Oh, yes, you'll get a half an apple too, Keisha. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ephesians 6:12 is my scripture. How my child at 2 years and 9 months know Ephesians 6:1 if that ain't God? That's God. I will always tell that story because I still am in reverence and amazed by it. Okay? Still to this day. It's not by no stretch of the imagination common. And I told y'all when my next son, Devon, the one who just recently got married, when he was 3, he was scooting around on his scooty bike, 3, almost 4, 3.5, scooting around on this little Fisher-Price. It was a Fisher-Price little scooter bike. It had yellow and blue, royal blue and red. It was a lot of primary colors. That little Tykes. I think it was little Fisher-Price, little Tykes, something with one of them things. He was scooting around and he was like, oh, I want it. And I always describe him as he had the gimme gots. I want it. And I said, you can't have everything. You got to make some sacrifices. Stop thinking you can have everything. Do you hear me? What does that mean? That boy said, God, so he's scooting around and he was saying, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, so who shall ever. I said, it's one thing for Donovan to quote what scripture and me go look, because God said, I want you on your journey to seek. But I know John 3:16. I know John 3:16. And what greater sacrifice exists in this life than to sacrifice your child for the good of mankind? See, God been on my life and in my life, all my life, all. When I tell you God will show me who is against me and trying to do me harm. And don't think for one second, because I come up here and I'll be laughing and smiling and all good, that life is a cakewalk. Oh no, honey, the haters gonna hate. I got some monitoring spirits in my neighborhood, always watching. Forgive me and forgive my French, Father God. I call them looking at hoe, because they always watching. Always watching, looking at hoe. Probably watching now. Hey, looking at hoe. Always monitoring me. Always watching my every move. I tell you, if I open my door, them open their door. If I drive out, make them drive out and care. I mean, the probability of someone leaving their house every time you're about to leave your house or opening door is crazy. Listen, this could be a game of probability. We living in a I'll be catching senior moments like a mug, y'all. I'll be catching senior moments like a mug. This is all a simulation. We living in a simulation. Now, the probability of that happening is a simulation. if we're living in the same nation, is high, very high. At 2.5 years old, we drove by a cemetery. My son would say, "Mommy, look at the people dancing." You know what, Sandricious? Let me tell you something, baby. Now that's real, because Nirvana was probably about 5. And so help me God, 4 or 5. And we were driving into this apartment complex, and it was across the street from a cemetery. And you know what Nirvana looked at me and said? "Why is that lady hanging in a tree?" And I was like, "What?" But you know, as a mother, we try to be calm, because I realized at a young age that she had a gift too. And I said, "Where?" And she said, "You don't see her, the lady right there. I can see up her skirt. Why? How come she's hanging in a tree?" And I was just like, "Oh, my poor baby. She got that gift. That's heavy to carry as a child." Trust me, I realized my gift when I was a child. I told y'all I had my first knowing of God at 5 years old. My first knowing personally that there is a God up above, and a relationship with him when I was 5. It's a heavy gift. My child said, and she was so nonchalant about it, "Why is that lady hanging in a tree?" And it was a row of long weeping willow type trees. I said, "Oh Lord, oh Lord." Mm-hmm. You have, who said, Shushu, you said you have a neighbor doing the same thing. It's called a monitoring spirit, boo. It's a monitoring spirit. That's what that is. Trying to watch you all the time, because the same way that we know when we see people who are demonic, or there's something in the milk ain't clean about them, we can recognize them as soon as we see them. You might look over and be like, "I see you, demon." But guess what? Just like we can recognize the demons, they can recognize God's chosen. Because listen, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody at everything. Many are called. You could be one of God's called. People can be one of God's called, but chosen are few. I ain't asked for this. I say it all the time. I did not ask for this. It was granted to me by God. And if you read the Bible, you will know, like every one of God's chosen ones, AKA you could call them chosen ones, you could call them people with prophetic gifts, empathic gifts, whatever you want to call it. Anybody that God chose, he called many. Many were called, but chosen were few. And those who he chose, baby, it's a heavy walk. You might be better off relegating yourself to being a called. God sees you, he called you. Maybe you didn't, you went to the bathroom when they was choosing, whatever. But baby, if you think the walk of a chosen one is easy, never sweat nobody because they're clearly one of God's chosen. Don't sweat that, baby. Let me tell you something. Everybody ain't able. Y'all remember a movie, A Few Good Men, I think it was called? It was very notable. Jack, what was his name? I just be having my senior moments. Nicholson. And he said, "You want the truth? You want the truth? Well, you can't handle the truth." Baby, that's the sum total of my existence. You can't handle this truth. And your show can't carry it. You couldn't carry it if you had a bucket with wheels attached to it. It's not easy. It ain't easy. Especially the ability to see. Once the scales have been ripped from your eyes, once the veil is lifted and God has given you the gift of sight, and I don't mean sight, I mean third eye, proverbial sight. You can't unsee it. You cannot unsee it. Everybody that's active in the chat, put "you can't handle the truth." You can't handle it. It's heavy. You have the ability to see and you can't unsee. Once God has given you the ability of sight, shout out Cinchi. Once God has given you the ability of sight, you cannot unsee anything. Once he has given you the ability to see, that proverbial sight, that vision sight, that third eye sight, you cannot unsee and you cannot unhear. I can hear somebody's tone of voice and be like, "You mightn't hear me say nothing, but if I look over my shoulder and watch you," is because I could hear the tone, the vibrational resonance in your voice that you's a stone cold liar. I can hear it. I don't know why people open their mouth and say things to me, and I'll be having people telling me long drawn out stories, and I'll be like, "Father God, I wonder why it is this girl thinks she could lie to me. I wonder why she come over here to me today. I'm minding my business. And she come to me to volunteer a lie. I could hear the lie. Why are you volunteering a lie? I could smell it. It smells like cheap perfume. No disrespect to red diamonds or red door and white diamonds, but it smelled like that old, darling, get your white diamonds. That old Crystal Carrington white diamonds. That old lady scent. You think cheesy and overbearing. Why do people volunteer lies to me? I can smell them. There is, if you train yourself, first of all, ask God for wisdom to expand your brain's reach. Ask Him to give you the wisdom of discernment. You got to get to a point where you quiet out the noise. Let me tell you something. I have times where I can sit, I could be doing something in my house and going through the motions of doing a tactic, and I have an entire conversation with myself or God. I'm in full conversation. No TV running. The TV could be on and the volume is down, and I'm not even looking over at it, and all this stuff. So help me God. I'm like, okay, K-Leg, I'm gonna leave Liz Taylor alone. The white diamonds, darling. She threw that thing over her shoulder that first stole. Get your white diamonds, darling. Honey, that perfume smell is overbearing. Somebody walking around me like, you know she over 65 when she smell like white diamonds, honey. The ladies in the church be smelling like that all the time. It's a good, you get a large buckle, it's a good $11.99. No disrespect to Liz Taylor. Just jokes, y'all. Just jokes. But trust me when I tell you. Okay, Keisha said, my friends always said, why your mama looking like she looking through me? Because your mama got the gift. Your mama got the gift. People say that too. My son be like, Ma, please. Just chill, okay? Because he know how to see through people. People will tell me a story. I'll be like, okay. Or I'll say, interesting. If you tell me something, I'll be like, interesting. You know that I can't hold it back. You know that I know that you know that I know you's a liar. Okay? I don't know why people waste their time, but every day somebody be testing my God's gangster and trying to lie to me. God be having whole conversations with me. Listen, shout out Willie Gross. Let me tell you something, honey. You want to know the largest form of communication? Nonverbal body language is the largest number of communication. Your body language, and it's called a tell. It's like people that be like, you say to your man, where you going? Why you get up out the bed and get dressed? Where are you going? And they be like, my homeboy, he going through something with his girl and he asked me to come help him. He's stranded. You see this? That's called a tell. That is an act that you perform as a diversionary tactic in order to espouse a point of view and make yourself look like it's a natural conversation, a natural statement without betraying yourself and looking guilty. It is a tactic to diffuse the energy and the negative or the lying energy in your body. Oh, my homeboy, he going through something with his girl and he's stranded and all this. I'm just trying to make sure he don't get arrested. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a whole stone cold Steve Austin lie. Oh, your eyes are the window to the soul, baby girl. Look across these YouTube streets. You notice I does wear clear. So they could see even when I don't have on my lashes, or they could see my eyes. Here, guess what? You see all over YouTube street, people have on dark shades. They don't want you to see their eyes. What are you wearing dark shades indoor for? You don't want people to see your eyes because you know the eyes are the window to the soul. The eyes are the window to the soul. Anyhow, you sit up every time you watch somebody on a show or you talking to a person and they have on a shades in the house, they are lying. Let me give you a case in point. A very famous interview. You might not have noticed it, but see, God gave me, I noticed it when I very first saw this interview. And this was almost 20 something, 30 years ago when Biggie was unalived. There's actually quite a few, first of all. But let me tell you who was the most profound, whose eyes told on him and tell on him all the time, which is why he always wears shades in an interview. Puffy. They were questioning him, and he was like this, sitting back, that mouth that could never close. That mouth hanging open. His eyes was like, baby. After that, my boy almost intrinsically always wore dark shades because that's called a tell. You see when them eyes, when somebody's speaking and you like, it's an indication that you are viewing the incident in your mind. The eyes tell on you every day. Every single day, your eyes will tell on you. That's why I tell people, a lot of people will want to, when you watch some YouTube channels and people never want to get on camera and they always have these, you can have a faceless YouTube channel and make money. See, you want to be off, you don't want to show your face because you know that body language. So let me show you what that body language do. Tell on you every time. You can read people. You want to know if somebody's lying to you? Have a conversation and look them dead in the eye like, so I was wondering what exactly happened when such and such. Just stare at them dead in the eyes. They're going to go here, look there, look at the clouds in the sky. They're looking at the planes dropping chemtrail. They're watching everywhere, but they will not look you in your eye because that will tell on them. We have to make honesty great again. Let's make honesty the ish again. Bring back honesty. Bring back just spitting facts. And listen, reality lies in perception. So remember, based on someone's experience, walk, reality could say this. And then the next person, their own respective experience and walk, and reality says this. And they could share an experience, and both people's reality saw something and perceived something different because reality lies in perception. How you perceive the world. If you look in the sky, I guess we can all agree that the sky is blue, correct? Well, you see this dopest nerd on the screen? That's called royal blue. If you look up in the sky and you see royal blue, but you don't add the prefix, you just call it blue. Somebody else will look up in the sky, they see what is considered powder blue, light blue. And they call that, they don't use the prefix, they just say blue. Somebody else could look at the sky and see navy blue, and they just call it blue. And then if there's a guy running from the scene of the crime and the cops was like, yeah, he had on a blue shirt. The cop said, did you see anybody? It was like, yeah, he had on a blue shirt. And each one of them pick out a different shade of blue. It doesn't mean they lying. It means based on their walk with God, their journey through life and their experience, that is how they perceive blue. Shout out Queen's Guard. God is good all the time, my love. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, I'm a disciple for Christ, and I am called to bring disciples into the kingdom. That's what I'm here for. She said, hi, Natanya. God is good. Love your content and how you bring us the good word as well. Thank you, my love. God bless you. I appreciate it. Asheo. Because listen, we can have good discussions and not be involved in no he say, she say. We could be discussing things and not be no gossip mongers. All of those. It's like the original content title. What's going on at the Breakfast Club? They're fostering through conjecture, innuendo, and speculation a topic at hand and allowing your own vibrational frequency to determine how you come at this information. I'm gonna say it again. It's like the Blair Witch Project. A lot of times movies are in the past, and so you might not remember all the parts of it. You saw it, but it's been so long ago. You're like, oh my God, that movie was so scary. I bet you if you ask people about the Blair Witch Project, it was so scary. You ain't seen a drop of blood. You ain't seen nobody get unalived. You ain't seen no crime in the entire movie. It was simply a movie of speculation, conjecture, and perception. How you perceive the sound of somebody rustling in the dirt off camera and the camera shaking a little and leaning, falling, lean over to the side, and you hear scuffle, scuffle, scuffle. Ah, oh my God, help, somebody help. And you're like, oh my God, you jumping. Oh, but you didn't see not one crime take place. You didn't see not one crime. Hallelujah, Sandricious, indeed. You ain't seen not one thing take place. That movie, say it again, K-Lig, that movie had a whole generation shook. We put that on the screen. They was all the way shooketh. I'm talking people was terrified to go see the movie. All in all, they didn't see no blood. You saw one tooth when the man's tooth was supposedly pulled out by this, whatever the entity was that we didn't see on camera, was on the thing, on this like a beige cream color thing, and the tooth and a little bit of speck of blood. People was like, oh my God, that movie had me so scared. Who? It ain't have a Freddy. It ain't have a Michael Myers. It ain't have a nobody. But you was terrified. Because what that movie was a precursor to friggin' social media and speculation, conjecture, and innuendo. It's like the trailer for the next episode of Housewives of West Bubba or whatever city. Housewives of this, that, and the third. Don't make me swatch your wig. And you see a hand reaching for the head. You see the head, and the person is like, oh. And you like, oh, I got to see next week. Girl, she's snatching wigs. Meanwhile, next week come, and she like, you got something in your hair. A bug went in your hair. And she's like, oh, get it off of me. But they done sucked you in and made you watch next week because you thought you was going to see some mess. We got to stop being messy. We have to stop being low vibrational. We have to stop allowing YouTube content creators, people to play in our faces. Stop falling for the okey doke. You want authenticity in this YouTube channel? You want really real? I'm not telling y'all who to support. I'm not telling y'all what to do. Next time you see a video, it says, Puffy about to get out of jail. How come y'all always don't notice that question mark and exclamation point after the thing? So you'll be, what? He about to get out of jail. Click. Now, Joe Schmo, Mr. John Doe, Mr. Where your name is, Minano, got 5 million views. But somebody who dropping gems, giving you facts, speaking truth, telling you natural homeopathic methods of healing yourself, got $1,200, 2,000 likes or views. Meanwhile, Joe Schmo got 149,000, 2.6 million, and they played in your face. He ain't getting out. He ain't going nowhere. But you like messiness. You know that the jig at the job, we're not going to call it clickbait. Clickbait is a nice way of saying a little white lie. It's not a little white lie. It's not clickbait. Guess what it is? It is you like mess. You like messiness and you go where messiness exists. I ain't saying the nerd herd. I'm saying those people out there beyond the nerd herd, out there in the interwebs, the internet folks. You like messiness. They could not clickbait you without your willingness. It is the statement, the devil cannot enter your home but by your invitation. AKA in layman's term, the devil can't come through your front door unless you invite him. But meanwhile, you like, well, I don't mess with messy shit. I don't mess with them kind of people, honey. The devil ain't walking in this house because that's for me and my house. We're going to serve the Lord. Meanwhile, you got a mat out front your door that says, welcome. Won't you come? You got one of them little flat wood boards by your front door with a little wreath on the top. You done watched the YouTube video and saw how the person made it when they got all your supplies from the Dollar Tree, stuck them together, glued them, put the thing clamped, and then painted welcome with little bunny rabbit eggs in a basket on the side. you're inviting the devil in your house. When you put a welcome sign outside your door, you are inviting energy, spirits, the devil, entities, all sort of thing in your house. And you'd be like, I can't believe that heifer then came over here and had the nerve to be sitting up in my house drinking, having drinks, drinking tea, eating my food, and gonna sleep with my husband. The devil cannot enter your home except by your invitation. So with your welcome sign and your welcome mat at your door, don't be shocked if your house is violated. Why would you be shocked? You invited him in. The same way you invite mess into your brain. What? You mean to tell me Nia Long choked Sherry Sharper? Click, click. Let me see what they talking about. But if somebody says, love your neighbor, opt for non-pharmaceutical remedies if you're going through something. Oh, you have such and such. Let me tell you what herb you can use for that. It's homeopathic, it's natural, and it's going to heal what ails you. You'll feel better in a day or two. Oh, your baby has eczema. Why don't you use this? People be scrolling through YouTube. I see y'all with your remotes. What? Click. See what they talk about. Now you are an hour and 20 minutes invested in it. Ain't nobody snatch a wig. We got to grow up. You can't. And then you'll be like, I watched that whole video. It wasn't about that. You can't blame the YouTube man. You have to blame yourself. When does taking responsibility for yourself pop in? When does? You got good information. Somebody told you how to cure a rash that been on the inner portion of your thigh forever. You done went to the doctor. You scared. You done seen Pookie Man. He got the same rash on the side of his face. You know he gave you that floppy. You know, oh Lord, what is this? Oh Lord, I got this rash. You walk with this kind of stiff thing because you don't want them legs to rub. Meanwhile, you got somebody on the internet like, oh, if you have a rash on the inner portion of your thighs, you've gone to the doctor, no one can tell you what to do to heal it. I want you to order poke root and get some organic castor oil. You can put it in a pot, use a double boiler, put some water in a bigger pot, and then take a smaller metal pot or metal bowl, like a seasonings bowl, and put the poke root and the castor oil in there and put it in the double boiler, sit that bowl into the water and let it boil it down and let it permeate all through, and then let it cool on the stove for a little while. And when it feels a little cool, pour it into your glass bottle, mason jar, whatever. Rub that on the parts of your body where that rash is. It'll be gone in 2 days. You get that good, and you're going with it. You're going with it. Meanwhile, somebody like, yeah, because let me tell you who was sleeping with who, and who was zooming who, and who ate this one, groceries and all this, and they click. What they talking about over here? Come on. What happened, part of my Frenchie? Was very weird. Part of my Frenchie said very weird. What's this? I just shared a link and it disappeared again. A link for what? My channel? You shared a link for here and it disappeared? What kind of herb? Amber? Poke root. Pokeroot. Soak that. Put that in a pot with some organic castor oil. Put some water on the stove and let it boil, or let it come to a simmer boil. And you want to use the double boiler method. That's when you take a pot, put water in it, and then take another, like a metal mixing bowl or something, or a smaller pot, and sit that into the bigger pot so that the double boil, so the water, the heat convection of the water melts it. It melts it to a slower melt ratio and doesn't make it extremely hot as if you just put that pot on the stove. And then you infuse it together. You let it boil down. Don't leave it for too long. You could try Etsy. And then all of a sudden, you put that in your, whatchamacallit, in a mason jar. Let it cool on the stove for a while. Put it in a mason jar. And you will see. The thing will go, the friggin' rash will be gone in 2 days. 2 days. When somebody is giving you, feeding your soul, feeding your mind, body, soul, spirit, and flesh, telling you, hey guys, make affirmations, repeat this daily. All of my bills are paid and all of my debts are canceled. All of my bills are paid and all of my debts are canceled. Repeat it regularly. When they're teaching you something positive, I'm not going to go on the internet and con anybody to come here. I'm not going to go on the internet and insult you. I'm not going to go on the internet and play in your face. I'm not going to go on the internet and lure you. I'm not going to fake engagement by, yo, hello, can y'all hear me? I can't tell if you, I don't think they can hear me. Yo. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Come on. Well, you're not insulted. You're not insulted. You should be. I'm going to say, hey guys, do me a favor. When you come in the room, you know what to do. Throw the likes up. Put a thumbs up. Even if you're in the nosebleed seats, go in your chat. I don't care if you're watching it on your TV. Pull out your phone, go to the live and type hello. That gives us engagement and allows the algorithm to see that we're doing something good, and it runs our numbers up. And while you're at it, share it with 2 or 3 friends. You know, everybody got that friend group where there's 1, possible 2 messy chicks in it. Send the videos their way. Share this. Let other people avail themselves and grow from this. Send it to your mama. She want to see something on YouTube. She tired of watching the same old shows on TV. She wants some knowledge. Send it to your mama and your auntie. Everybody got the party aunt, the messy aunt. Send it to her. Hopefully she can find some beauty and some benefit to it. You know, there's always one lock that just wants to do its own thing. Thank you. I appreciate you, Amber Robinson. That's super nice. Amber said, you're such a breath of fresh air. Thank you, ma'am. You're absolutely welcome. That is the only thing. I don't allow nobody to call me ma'am. In my ear, ma'am sounds like, thank you, old lady, grandma, old head. It doesn't resonate in my ear like you could just say Natanya. I appreciate it. I know it's a sign of respect, but ma'am bugs me. I don't know what it is. It just bugs me. Shout out to the dopest mod Locked, who always, if I mention something, bam, she got the link waiting for you. She got the remedy. She got it right up in there. This is what baby, I love my mod. I love my mod. One of the dopest mods in the land. I stand behind her. She is locked here, don't care. Not locked D, locked. That's it. You know, conjunction, junction, what's your function? Queen's Guard said, I use fluoride toothpaste. I use fluoride toothpaste to make sure I'm not getting any cavities. My love. Your girl is trying to tell you something. Fluoride does not prevent cavities. Fluoride was a psyop created by the United States government to calcify your pineal gland, to friggin' destroy your body. Go look up what fluoride does to you. Pull up. What are the hazards of fluoride and paste it in the chat, please. Fluoride don't keep you from cavities, my love. If anything, it'll lead you to the permanent cavity, mort, in that coffin. So go look that up. Locked is going to post it right in this chat real quick. Don't believe the hype. Fluoride is not what you think. And by all means, do not give that to your kids. Go get fluoride-free toothpaste and let your children brush their teeth with that. You can make a homemade toothpaste with bentonite clay and all coconut oil and all these things that will remineralize your teeth and help your teeth come back together and push forward. I even see some speculation that you can regrow teeth. Fluoride ain't doing that for you, boo. But it's not your fault. It's because society was created the English language was created to cast spells. And that's what they've done. They've drilled into your head for so long all these things that they espouse. I hear women say, I don't like my own hair. I don't like natural hair because it's too hard to comb. Excuse me, somebody told you that. Somebody put that subconscious foolishness in your head. It's the easy, I don't know how to style it. Because you were taken away. Someone made you disavow your own natural textured hair. Your natural locks that spring forth out of your head, kinky, curly, whatever. Whether you 4C or 4A. Somebody conned you to believe that your natural hair is not good. You see what Beiji Boo said? It was used to control soldiers. Y'all gotta understand, baby. Stop believing everything they tell you. Everything they tell you ain't the truth. Stop believing those folks. Nelson, you see what Trump did the other day? He completely dismantled the Department of Education. Nelson Rockefeller, who created the Department of Education, said, I do not want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. They educated you just enough so you could know how to read the manual at the job and not ever get into your own mind and say, you know what? I want to own my own business. I can make the company. And everybody is happy employees. Oh, I got to get to work, girl. I can't go with y'all. I got to go to bed because I got to get up early and go to work. Listen, you either have a dream. If God gives you a vision, he will make provision. If you come up with something, if you see a problem, if you have a cousin who have a problem tying her shoes as a kid, and you created some little thing in your mind, oh, maybe to help a kid learn to tie their shoe. If you don't push forth with that dream and that vision God gave you and make it a thing, make it a reality, you will work someone who will pay you to do the job for them. Someone says, pardon my French, he said, if your toothpaste and if the toothpaste tube has a black, red, or blue stripe on it, then it's toxic. It's usually in the back where the ingredients is on the tip of the thing. Since she said, I have a toothpaste from coriander leaves, citrus, and xylitol. Does the job too. Asheo. Beiji said they use fluoride to dumb people down. Sheila Gree said, hey, Natalia. Hey, Sheila. Locked puts the risks of using fluoride. Please take this. Please take that link and go read it. You're going to, when I go to the dentist, I'll be like, don't put no fluoride in my daughter's thing. They be like, because on the, look, if you go to the dentist and they say, sign this intake form, and then there's a line that says, yes, I would like fluoride given to my daughter for your child for such and such. And you got to check yes. If they have to ask you for authorization, the shit ain't good. And they cannot administer it the devil cannot enter your home but by your invitation. You cannot dumb down your child using fluoride and other chemicals without giving your permission. If you have to grant them permission at the dentist's office to use fluoride, the answer lies there. Baking soda is good too. Yes, but baking soda is good. Mix it with other things because sometimes baking soda can be abrasive. So if you mix your baking soda with, let's say, if you boil some cloves or you just infuse some cloves in some organic coconut oil with baking soda and you mix it together, baby, the coconut oil minimizes the abrasion of the baking soda without stopping the positive effects. Part of my French, she said, I started using Tom's toothpaste. Erica said, believe it or not, us Native Americans have always complained about our hair. See, because and remember, Native Americans are not just what society calls Indians, AKA indigenous. It also consists of Black people. That's why you have the old adage where Black people say, I got Indian in my family. That's where that comes from. Because Black people were Native Americans as well. Not all, but some were. Remember, this one gigantic landmass of the global world was Pangea. Once the fault lines shifted and it broke apart, it broke into subsections. Blacks are Native also. And that is why, and it's the infusion of why some people have a more finer hair and other people have a more kinky. More than likely, you're a Griffin. The name Griffin means half Black and white. Excuse me, half Black and Native American. Half Black and Indian, what society calls Indians. We know them to be Native Americans. Think about it. We have a lot of similarities. Listen, I will go into that later on another live, but We will talk about that. Beiji Boo says, snap, I withdrew my consent for my kids having fluoride. Everybody should. Listen, you want the dentist to know that you are no? Watch how mad they get if you check, I don't want my child to get fluoride. They'll get furious. You know this helps your child, blah, 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 blah. Say, no, thank you. I'm not interested. Luna said, Auntie Natanya, do you have any home remedies for dry scalp? Absolutely, my love. You've come to the right place. Absolutely, I do. You need castor oil with rosemary, amla powder, fenugreek, and fennel seed. Mix them together, put them in a double boiler, infuse that rosemary into it and all those things together in that double boiler method I said, put it in a little applicator bottle with the squeeze on. Baby, your scalp will be moist and nourished and your hair will grow like wild. You want to grow hair? Fenugreek and fennel. But I'm going to also tell you that fenugreek also can increase your breast size too. So get ready. And coconut oil is an antibacterial and an antifungal. So not only will your scalp not be dry, it will be hydrated and kill any bacteria that lives on your scalp, which typically can also which typically counteracts the dryness and what causes dry hair. A lot of times when you have dry hair and your scalp is super dry, is because you are your pH balance is not correct, and you are probably your hair is porous because it over absorbs moisture. When your pH balance is correct, your skin and your hair will absorb moisture at the correct ratio. If it's not, if your pH balance is off, you will find that your hair is either hydrophobic or hydrophobic or hyperphobic. Hydrophilic. Thank you. You hear? Come on, Trusted Dusty. You heard Trusted Dusty walk in the hallway and say hydrophilic. Thank you. One repels water and one absorbs it. You can overabsorb or underabsorb. You need to have your pH balance at the right level. Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome to Erica. I was going to say shout out Locked. Natanya, what did you say about cleaning up the third eye and oregano oil? Oregano oil is fantastic. Oregano oil will start to heal your body. It will help you in your journey for decalcifying your pineal gland. Get that you need to use oregano oil. You need to use, like I said, the coconut oil. You can use cloves, all of that for good oral health. And it will decalcify your pineal gland. Get off of fluoride immediately. Get off of deodorant with aluminum in it. Never buy antiperspirant. It stops you from sweating. You want to know the only creature in the world that doesn't sweat and has no sweat glands? A pig. And it is the one creature the Bible says stay away from and do not yam them. You know what pigs were for? They used to cast demons into pigs. Y'all should not be consuming no pork. It gives you parasites in your brain and your body. Stop yam the pork. Don't eat no more bacon. If you got to eat bacon, eat turkey bacon. I know y'all going to complain and say, oh, turkey bacon. Oh. If you're going to eat bacon, you better get that turkey bacon. They got beef bacon. Eat that. Stay away from the pork. They don't have sweat glands. They used to cast demons into the pigs. They don't have sweat glands. If you don't have sweat glands, every toxic thing will stay inside your loins. Y'all are feeding your kids no sweat gland, demon-infused pork chops for dinner. Stop nyam that. Don't eat it. Oh, Sheila Gray said, I make my own rosemary oil and water for my locks. That's dope. Absolutely. Since she said wonder equal miracle. Sorry, Dutch equal wonder. Absolutely. Locke said, at part of my French, is that the same thing as tallow? Tallow is, I didn't hear the first part of that question, but beef tallow. Tallow is something that hydrates your skin, hair, everything. Is very thick. Think of it as like ghee, or it is highly moisturizing. Some women use tallow for their skincare. I'm partial to organic castor oil, and there's something called snail mucin. Very good for your skin. and Prince Andrew. I'm not sure. I didn't see the beginning of that. Yes, fenugreek definitely works for hair growth. Listen, not just hair growth, your breasts too. Them boobs will start to swell. So prepare yourself. Hola, Joan M. She said, hola, dopest nerd. Hola. ¿Cómo está? ¿Está bien? I didn't know your girl was multilingual. Mm-hmm. Listen, I love y'all. You know I could talk to y'all forever and a day. Any advice for menopause? Why, absolutely, my girl. The bestest advice for menopause. If you are experiencing menopause and the side effects of menopause, i.e., hot flashes, night sweats, increased urination, and all that other stuff, irritability, moody, you need to be on black cohash. Throw that in the chat, locked. Black cohash, baby, nothing better. When I first started having hot flashes, and I told my aunt, I used to have to go stand in the freezer door, open the freezer door, and put my body halfway in there to get that hot flash heat, that prickly heat that be in between the layers of your top layer of your skin and the other layers of your epidermis. Oh, that you cannot reach and you cannot scratch away. Not a nice thing at all. Get yourself some black cohash, COHASH. Locked will put it in the chat, a link with it, so you can order yourself some black cohash, baby. Let me tell you right now, you're welcome. Pardon my Frenchie. Listen here, sis. You only eat bacon because your boyfriend can't eat it. Listen here. Don't leave that boyfriend here by himself. You better get off that pork. No pork on my fork. Pig don't sweat. Oh, you said Prince Andrew, the pig that don't sweat. That is hilarious. You're welcome. Keisha said, thank you for soursop. You are absolutely welcome, my love. Shout out to Keisha from the beginning. Been here from the get-go. One of the original dopest nerd family. Remedy for vertigo and perimenopause. Now, vertigo, I will look up a remedy. Off the top of my dome, I can't think of one. I'm sure I probably know one, but I can't think of one off the top of my dome. But menopause and perimenopause, black cohash. Get on that black cohash instantly. Also, there is something, if you have bad menstrual cramps and things of that nature, like women that are going through, there is something called BreakingNews. Vanna, Trusty Dusty, Vaughn, go get me that pre-keys. This is very good for, and also if you have any type of bad cycles or anything like that, you need to drink okra water. And listen, I know okra is not everybody's favorite and it can be very slimy, but you have to clean that okra and clean all your vegetables with baking soda, please. Clean that stuff with baking soda, and you can use vinegar for your fruits, baking soda for your vegetables. Clean it, chop down that okra, chop it up and put it in a big glass container and drink okra water. It will alleviate all of those harsh cramps and menstrual cycle issues. Yeah, hot flashes is nothing nice. Nothing nice. Yeah, oregano oil tastes awful, but it's good for you. Because here's the thing. All the things that we love to taste, they're not necessarily good for us. But that oregano oil, baby, is going to heal what ails you. And don't use it for when something happens. Take it as a course of natural maintenance for your body. Use it all the time. You know, it's another phenomenal thing to get rid of heavy metals in your body. All of that underarm deodorant that's used to, antiperspirant that's used to use with the aluminum in it. That's why so many women have breast cancer. Because your breast glands go underneath your arms. You have lymph nodes in this area and the breast tissue. And your glands are under this arm. You ever see when your breasts start getting big and you put on a piece of weight, the breast does slide back here and you have to reach in and pull it forward and then situate it in the cup? Yes, you should be pulling it forward. Don't use antiperspirant because it will stop you from perspiring. The human body must perspire. That is how we push out sweat. Use deodorant, but use aluminum-free deodorant, or go to a whole health food store and get a natural deodorant. But also to cure your body from smelling, like having bad odor under your arm or smelling in any part of your orifices or your thing, because some people just have a natural scent to their body, and it's not necessarily the greatest scent. It is usually based on what your diet is, and that is where some people have really funky underarms. It's your diet. But you want to know what a natural deodorant for your body is? Drink chlorophyll. One that we drink all the time is called Chlorofresh. Drink chlorophyll. Trust me, it's a natural deodorant from the inside out. It will flush you out, and your arms won't be kicking like Van Damme. Nerds unite. And I want y'all to continue to shout out to the dopest mod, because she be Johnny on the spot. Black seed oil is good also. What helps with booby growth plus hair health? Oh, that's fenugreek. Fennel seeds and fenugreek. Listen, let me tell you the joke. I used to be a member of the itty bitty titty committee. My sister was the president and I was the vice president. Baby, I done flew past my whole family. I remember my aunt used to come and say, "Whoa, you get all this bosom." I'm a D cup. But I was the president of the itty bitty titty committee. Get that fenugreek and that fennel. You'll see. And make sure you drink plenty of water. Absolutely. You should always be drinking water, spring water. Stay off of thank you. You see you see this right here? Huh?
You can see it more in the back.
Oh, I'm just showing them the name first. You see this pre-keys? This is what it looks like. It's like a root or thing that grows on a plant. Let me take one out. Now you're going to take this. You can break it down. You're going to boil this and drink the tea from this. You're going to boil it, put it in a big pot of water, boil it, and drink that tea. Your cycle pains. You will have less volatile cycles, less cramping, and all the pain. And all. Drink it. I promise you. You said I have chlorophyll drops. I put 4 drops in a shot of water every day. There you go, boo. Bet them underarms don't stink. Bet. Right, Locked? I bet they don't stink. Chlorophyll is phenomenal. It flushes your body of heavy metals. And let me tell you why you need to drink chlorophyll. You see those streams of smoke out of the back of the plane, AKA what they called. Y'all know what they called. Chemtrails. Some people will try to tell you they're contrails, they're smoke or steam that's coming. No, those are chemtrails. They're intentionally spraying chemicals in your communities. Look, I had my thing so nicely positioned under the hairs. They're intentionally spraying chemical stuff in your neighborhood, and it's dropping into your home, getting into your vents, dropping onto your plants. If you're growing plants, you should make a covering for your plants, because then if all of that is dropping in the soil, you grow in your own plants, but you eat in the trash anyway. You gotta drink chlorophyll to get it out of your system. She's tried everything to sleep. The Queen's Guard said, my mother-in-law has tried everything for sleep issues related to menopause. I feel so bad for her, 4 hours a night for 10 years. Now, let me tell you something. My pastor also says that crystals and all that is demonic. Listen, I don't agree with everything he says. He's a man of God, and I trust him as my shepherd, and I know God led me to him. However, I'm going to tell you my personal experience with crystals. For years, I could not sleep. I would sleep maybe 2.5, 3 hours a night. Mind you, my body was tired, and your body essentially needs sleep. Now, everybody doesn't need the same level of sleep. Some people's body can get by, and I see you, Beiji Boo, the moringa. Moringa is great too. Some people's body can get through life with just a small amount and that's just how your body's wired. But if you feel tired and you know you require more sleep, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't sleep for years. One of my girlfriends said to me, you need crystals. I was like, so some rocks is going to make me sleep? Yeah, right, whatever. I was making, I can be a bit of a cynic. I was ridiculing it. I was like, oh Lord, please go. The rocks is going to put me to sleep. Yeah, right. So she laughed and she was like, okay, I'll show you. I'm going to get you some crystals. And if you're watching this, Pastor, I don't know that you watch my channel. You probably don't even know who I am. It's all good. But just in case, first to begin, if in case you're watching, I'm just saying what my experience was. And here's the thing: God made crystals. Crystals are of the earth. So I don't know that they're demonic. I don't agree with everything he says. I follow him, and I believe he is a man of God with a pure heart. And I know when he reads that scripture, he go line by line and he gets into that word. But what my personal experience has been with my girlfriend said, you need to get you these crystals. So she got the crystals for me. And I had this big picture, huge, massive window in my family room. And she put the crystals on the windowsill, and the sunlight came in and was charging the crystals. Baby, she put them back in the sash, in the pouch. And she said, put these under your pillow. When I tell you, I slept so long. I'm talking Rumpelstiltskin. I'm talking children's nursery rhymes. Rumpelstiltskin slept for 20 years. I woke up, I was like, I stretched. When I tell you I got back probably 20 years worth of sleep in one night, and I sleep to this day. I don't have the crystals in my bed no more. I sleep like a baby. Have your mother-in-law try that. I'm sorry. I have to tell you my experiences. Crystals allowed me to sleep. My body would have failed me if I continued to go through this almost 2-decade thing of not sleeping at night. Your body needs rest. Trust me when I tell you. If you think you're going to get through life and be productive in life and don't get no sleep, you will. When you don't sleep, you wear out your telomeres in your body. The human body consists of telomeres. When you're born, all of the telomeres that you need to live 115 years exist in your body at birth. How you live your life, how poorly you eat, how much you don't exercise, how all of the illnesses and things you develop break down your telomeres. That's why somebody will die of natural causes at a young age, because whatever they did in their life, it wore down their telomeres. Now, telomeres can recharge itself, but based on how you live, some of them will pass away. And baby, once your telomeres run out, the telomere caps burn down and run out and don't regenerate, when you get to that last telomere, you're gone. You need sleep. If you don't sleep, you burn through your telomeres quicker. I'm telling you. You don't believe me? Look it up. Telomeres. Look them up. Look it up. There's a variety of crystals. I have some crystals still in a pouch somewhere. I gotta look and see. I'm gonna show you. But it's quite a bit of them. So many different stones on the earth. Indeed. You could just get an assortment. Get an assortment of crystals in a pouch, charge them in the sun. 2 ways that I know personally that you can charge your crystals are in the sun, or keep them in, the little pouch that you wash your like your panties, your bras and all that, the laundry pouch, the white mesh one with the holes in it, all of your fine things. Put your crystals in that and tie a string on it, a tight one, and run it through a running stream of water. So if you go by a lake, a river, or whatever, and there's a running stream of water, run your crystals through that. You charge them that way too. Not your run-of-the-mill sink water, because that water is nasty. But that piece of dark something in the bag will save you. That's called pre-keys. And baby, anybody who has menstrual issues, boil that and drink the tea. And I'm telling you, bye-bye cramps and all of that. I love you guys so much. I could stay with y'all forever, right? I know y'all be missing me. I miss y'all too. But I'm going to tell you, my eyes were so inflamed from allergies. Inflamed. I'm talking rubbing. I rubbed my eyes so much they were so red. I had to finally cave in and go get Benadryl today. I was in no condition to really, and it would go away because I would use my natural remedies. It would go away, but then it would come back. You can't avoid outside. And once your car is exposed to the outside and that pollen gets on it and you go and open the door, as soon as you open the door, you are exposed to the pollen. So you reinfect yourself with pollen every single day. Oh, shout out to the dopest mod. I love her so much. Look at her. She said, guys, we appreciate you spending your valuable time with us. We know that you could be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to come here. And we appreciate you and we love you. We love you so much. This has been another amazing dopest nerd with the dopest nerd herd in the world, the dopest mod, trusty dusty sidekick, aka show producer. Baby, we had a little of this, that, knick knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. So, in conclusion, shout out to Keisha for the super chat. She said, dropping jewels, love this gathering. I love you guys too. I love you so much. Y'all know I love y'all so much. And let me tell you something, and I'm going to reinforce shout out to the dopest mod's daughter. I love you. I appreciate you for your kindness. Thank you. Shout out to the dopest mod's daughter. I love the dopest mod. That's my sister. That's my sister in this journey. All of the things that are going on, I can't tell people what to do. We all have a journey to walk in this life. Hey, shout out to Amber. She said, I sure appreciate you. I got my notebook trying to write this all down. I will have to replay it and I'll be back. Absolutely, sister. Welcome to the family, baby. Stay a while. Join a membership. Live here with us. We got a whole lot. There's a lot to do here. Luna said she was sick today and this gave her energy. Asheo, sis. To God be the glory. Listen, we have an amazing nerd herd family here. I appreciate you guys. I love you so much. And I love this gathering of grown folks that just want to gain knowledge, share a little wisdom, talk amongst ourselves, and be with each other. Make sure if you're on this live, if you're in the nosebleed seats and you're watching it on your TV and you don't interact, whip out your phone right now. Grab your phone. Go to YouTube on your phone, because I know y'all got YouTube on your phone now. Find the live and throw a thumbs up. Make a comment to add engagement and to like us. Oh, my baby's sending me vacation spots. Hold on one second. Go to YouTube, open your app, find the live, and like it. That gives us engagement. That helps our numbers grow. And I don't have to be on here telling y'all, please like, share, subscribe, and all of that. Show your girl some love. Y'all know what a TI is. Show me some love. And show the channel some love. If you love this home and this is where you want to be, show the channel some love. This is how we do it. This is how we grow. You got to share this live. You got to let people know that this is taking place. You got to support the channel in any way you see fit, whether that is by Cash App, share love with your girl Locked. As you know, her Cash App is, throw your Cash App in the chat, Locked. $ Butterfly Blue, BUDDAFLY. Blue, right? Put it in there, Locked. You know I'll be remembering stuff by heart sometimes. Oh, look at me talking about I don't remember stuff by heart while I'm spitting all this stuff by heart. Ciao. I just be having senior moments though. Oh, I love you too, so much, Sheila. It's all good. You came in late. You know, I know you stopped by Locke's office and got your late pass. It's all good. Ain't nothing. You be a replay gang. You just have to be in detention and watch it over in the replay gang. It's all. Did you bring a note? If you didn't bring no note, you got to be in replay gang. It's all good. Rewatch it and you'll see. Tea of life for allergies. Yes, I will take, listen, I thank you, because I don't like to be under pharmaceuticals at all. I very, very rarely, I mean, I'm not going to say very rarely. I never use pharmaceuticals, but baby, I had to get that Benadryl. And make sure that you go into the bell notifications and click all. So every time we come on, you'll be notified. Every time. I do know how to do taxes. Oh, Dana, since 2012, baby, prepare to be subjected to fines. That's what I will tell you. You'll have fines and fees, but you got to get them done. You have to purge it and get them done. Singing bowls. Who's talking about singing bowls? Singing bowls are dope. That resonance that it puts into your house, because remember, resonance is just vibrational frequency. It is how our surroundings, once you hit that singing bowl and you take the mallet and run it around the edge of the singing bowl and it creates that resonance. Sound resonance is the amalgamation of the energy in your house and that frequency. It creates that sound, and that resonance is healing to your body. Like I always tell you guys, if you're also for your mother-in-law that's having a problem sleeping, she can go online to YouTube and look up either binaural beats, BINURAL, binaural beats, or high frequency music. There's high frequency music that will restore your mind, body, soul, spirit, flesh, and finances. Look them up. The only thing that can penetrate the subdermis of our ears, skin, head is without our permission is sound. Sound. That's why you can hear a song all the time, be in the kitchen cleaning some chicken, and you singing it, and you like, how do I know this song? Because it has penetrated your subdermis and it's up in there. Your cerebral cortex is in there. I love you guys so much. I love you guys oh so much. Butterfly Blue. Locke's Cash App is $BUDDAFLYBLUE. And Natanya's Cash App is the dopest nerd. THA, not THE. Because there's a THE. Y'all be sending my coins and my gold doubloons to him on Cash App, not THE, THA, the dopest nerd. And Locked is $Butterfly Blue. Y'all got to show some love to y'all dope mod. She makes sure all the facts, all the things I quote, bam, within split seconds, it's in that chat for y'all to access it. $BUDDAFLYBLUE. Asheo, guys. I love you all too. I love you too, Brown Girl 2003. She said, I love you. I'll be tuning in. Shout out to you, my love. Shout out to you all. I love you guys so much. You are super dope. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us, and we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in once again to the dopest nerd and the dopest mod, the dopest trusty dusty sidekick, aka the show producer, aka my precious daughter Nirvana. And listen, antibiotics, the number one antibiotic is oregano oil. Trust me when I tell you. Here's why I always tell my nerd herd family, don't use antibiotics. Here's why. It takes 8 years for your body to rebound from antibiotics. 8 years for your gut microbiome to be restored. Antibiotics is not what you think it is. Listen, it's like the big C. It's like cancer. People don't die from cancer. They die from the radiation damage destroying their cells. Thank you. That's what they unalive from. Some people unalive because they don't know they had it, and so it eats away at their body and it takes over. But most people who are getting radiation, that's what they pass away from. They unalive from that. Oh, absolutely, Leilani. Happy birthday, Leilani. Everybody in the Nerd Herd family, let's give our family, Leilani, some happy birthday shouts. Show some love to our sister right now. And I hope it's sister. You know, I always be guessing with people's names. I don't want to misgender anybody. Thank you, Cece. Cece said, you are always in my prayers, Natanya. I'm praying that someday you get your true justice. Thank you so much. Continue to say that. Continue to manifest that, and it will be so. And trust me, I feel like I have justice now because of where he is. And I pray and I know that he is where he is going to be for the rest of his days, or at least a large portion of them. And Asheo, the trial starts on my stepdad's birthday. So I know that's a sign from God. And the fact that he has been incarcerated all this time, it's a gift from God to me. This feels like a total justice, but I appreciate what you're saying, and I will get total justice someday. I believe that. I know it in my heart, and I'm seeing it come to pass as we speak. Shout out to you, Leilani, from the Nerd Herd family. We love you. We love you. Enjoy your day. And I hope it was a magnificent and fruitful, productive day. And you felt loved, valued, and appreciated from those around you and for yourself. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to the trial. That remains to be seen. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. Asheo. And thank you all, guys. Leilani, we love you. Love is love. The entire Nerd Herd family. On behalf of myself, the dopest nerd, your lovely mod, Locked here, don't care, the dopest mod in the world, Nirvana, the dopest trusty dusty sidekick and show producer, and everybody in the Nerd Herd family. We love you, we miss you, and we hope to see you again soon. Until we meet again, guys. Peace.